We basically took this word from English. Number 4, individual. Of course, it's the same word, just different pronunciation. The next one, number 5, is piercing. Yes, we use this word with the same pronunciation and meaning. Next one, number 6, is informal. I like to use this one in my lessons to explain ways to greet and say goodbye because it's similar in English and is a word that the students understand very quickly. And the last are some words related to sports. If you're learning Spanish and you like sports, you're lucky because most of the words are cognates like football, tennis, baseball, volleyball, hockey, water polo, golf, surf, and so on. As you can see, almost all sports are cognates. So, talking about your hobbies should not be difficult. As you can see, there are many, and I would like to remember you that there are hundreds of cognates, and if you check them, you can be ready to your first Spanish lesson. Thanks for watching the video. Don't forget to subscribe to the italki YouTube channel for more tips on learning Spanish. Take a lesson with me on italki.com by clicking on my teacher profile link in the description. Hasta luego!
Hi everyone, it's Caroline here and I teach English on italki. Today I am going to be talking about business idioms or idioms you might hear in your office or in your workplace. A student asked me a really good question the other day. He asked me whether, because I'm a native English speaker, do I know every single idiom? And the answer is no. Idioms are phrases or expressions that come from a particular place or a particular age group. So idioms are different in the UK to idioms in the United States. I have chosen 5 business idioms to talk to you about today, and you may hear them in an office in the UK or in the States. So hopefully they will be super useful for you. Idiom number 1 is the big picture. Imagine you go into a meeting and your boss says to you, you've lost sight of the big picture. What does that mean? That means that you are thinking too much about the small details of the project and you are so interested in those little details that you don't remember what it is you're trying to achieve. So always keep sight of the big picture. The second idiom is to go the extra mile. Now imagine you're in an interview and the interviewer says to you that they are looking for someone who always goes the extra mile. What does that mean? Does it mean they want you to run around the office every day? No, it means they want you to do more than just what is in the job description. They want you to go that little bit further and to take on extra responsibilities. That is going the extra mile. The third idiom is a win-win situation. A win-win situation means everybody gains something. A really good example of this is these videos that I'm making for italki. italki gains some content for their website, some lessons for their learners, and I have a platform where students can see me and book lessons with me. It's a win-win. italki wins and Caroline wins. The fourth idiom is word of mouth. So an example of this is, think about how you found out about italki. Did you find italki by searching on Google? Or did you find italki because one of your friends recommended it to you? Recommendations from friends are word of mouth. It can be positive or it can be negative. If your company gets bad word of mouth, it is going to be a very difficult time for your company because people really listen to the opinions of their friends. So make sure whatever you do, you have good word of mouth about it. The fifth and final business idiom is to touch base. My manager used to say this to me a lot. To touch base means to have a very quick and short meeting about a project or something that you are working on. It might only be 5 minutes of your time, but in that time, you will check that your understanding of the project is the same as your manager's understanding of the project. So I have a challenge for you. In your next lesson, I want you to ask your teacher if you can touch base about what you have learned in your lesson so far. This could be 5 minutes at the end of the lesson where you review all of the different subjects that you have been studying. You're touching base about the things you have covered so far. Thank you so much for watching this video. Don't forget to subscribe to italki by clicking somewhere. And you can take a lesson with me by clicking on my teacher profile in the description box. Have a good day, everyone. Bye.
Welcome back to the Stop Being Boring When Speaking English video series. When speaking to native English speakers, it's useful to use a variety of vocabulary to make your conversation sound more interesting and flow. Why not spice up your language a little bit and impress others with your speaking abilities? In this next video, we will take a look at some American and British slang.
Number 1, American. John Hancock.
John Hancock.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a person,
It's the name of a person, yes.
and it's American slang.
Mm-hmm. What do you think it means?
I just got John Hancock. Does it mean like wasted?
Certainly not.
Give me an example.
Okay, so can I please have your John Hancock at the bottom of this paper? Come on, you gotta get it
Is
now.
it your signature?
Yes, you got it! That was easy.
Okay, awesome. Number 1, British. Peak. What does peak mean?
Like, taking a peek.
No, that's,
Sorry, that's not taking a peek.
that's not slang.
This is taking a peek.
But that's just like taking a peek. That's not slang.
Oh,
Like in a slang
like
context.
like the peak of a mountain? That's not slang. That's actually
Yeah, that is the peak of a mountain.
I don't know. Tell me.
Okay, let me give you an example. So say you go out one night and you lose your purse, your keys.
Is it like the
phone.
most horrible situation you can be in?
Yeah, exactly. You'd be like, that's so peak. You'd be like, oh, yeah. How was your night? It was so peak.
I just got fired. That's so peak.
Exactly. So it's like the peak of badness, I guess.
Oh, got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the peak.
2, American. Jacked.
Jacked. Does that mean like hench?
What is henchman?
Like say you go to the gym.
Don't answer back with the slang word.
So the British equivalent of jacked would be hench, I think. So if someone's like really ripped.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
So hench.
Go to the gym, work out a
They're
lot.
like, whoa, look at him, he's so jacked.
We would say hench. Number 2, British. Peng. Peng.
Peng.
Peng. P-E-N-G. Peng.
Like someone being hanged on the head with something? Or
Peng.
just thinking of bang and pang. Similar, I don't know.
I guess it's a little similar. No.
Give me an example.
Okay, so for example, say you're eating a cake, it's delicious, you can say, oh, this is peng.
Does it just mean delicious?
You could use it in other contexts as
Does it mean
well.
like it hits the spot? You know?
Yeah, but I could also say that your eyes are peng, or a person is peng.
Just mean like extraordinarily awesome?
Basically, if you're talking about a person, you might even say peng-ting.
Peng-ting.
Like he's a peng-ting.
Okay.
This is mostly
So
London.
then he's like a 10.
Yeah, exactly.
So like the top of the top.
Yeah, basically.
Number 3, American. I blew it.
I blew it.
I blew it!
What a nightmare. I blew it.
Yeah.
So that means that you've completely ruined the situation.
Say like, I didn't make it into school. So my parents will not be proud of me. I blew it.
Yeah, but you rocked up late to work. Don't really ever do that.
Yeah. I'm never late.
Number 3, British. Having a mare. Having a mare.
Having a mare. A nightmare. Like horrible, real nightmare in realistic in reality, basically.
Very good. That's exactly
That was
it.
a lot easier than that previously.
Yeah, well, I thought I'd go with you. Having a mare? You were having a mare before.
I was having a mare,
Yeah.
not understanding anything she was saying.
Yeah, exactly. So there you have it. There's our British and American slang. Tell us what you thought of it. Did you understand it? And we'll see you next time.
My name is Vũ Nguyễn. Tên tôi là Vũ Nguyễn. It's really amazing thing for me. From italki, I can meet people around the world, and they can give me more energy to live and more inspiration to live the world also. Very magical, yeah. When I can go on lesson and I feel that I'm doing a very good job, and then working at home is a very wonderful thing. I think that I can do something, and I'm doing something here. I think that I can say idea and talk with people. That is the first motivation for me to come here. The second thing that I can have some money for my life to make my life become better and more comfortable. It's very wonderful website of italki because italki is the connection between every people in the world with each other. There are many purposes for us to learn a new language. Innovation is the most important. Not only study language, but also sharing idea and culture and everything else in the life. And through the learning and teaching, and we can share more idea and we can share our life better. You know that because each person have their own experience and their own knowledge and their own way of living. And when we meet the new people, and we think that we are discovering a new universe or a new area or something like that.
So it's wonderful that we have this diversity and we should just learn from each other. But if you at least just learn a second language and expose yourself to a second culture, not only do you understand that culture better, but you understand your own culture better. And if most people just did that and were talking openly and honestly about themselves and other people, I don't think there would be any diversity problems. Because we're all learning from each other.
He's a very good student. He's doing very well, and he just learned he just.
Hi, it's Karen here again, and today we're going to do a revision of pronunciation. Of course, we'll carry on with our English articles next time, and it gets quite complicated. So yeah, do be ready for that. But right now, we're just going to do a quick revision of pronunciation and go from there. So yeah, it'll be nice to know who is with us today. Bernadetta Rosalima. Where are you, Dete? Where are you from, Bernadette? Where are you from? Tell me which country, maybe the city. I'm from Johannesburg, and I've been watching. Yeah, it's also in lockdown. We're also experiencing some coronavirus, but not as much as the rest of the world. Our graph has flatlined. So we went on lockdown early, and we are not looking forward to the winter. All of you in the Northern Hemisphere are going into summer. We're going into winter. So yeah, it's going to be an interesting experience. Maybe, who knows what will happen by then. Today, I just wanted to mention that it's good if you can interact with me and ask me many questions. I love questions. I love talking to people, and I love gaining from you. And if you want me to repeat something, please write it. There is a slight lag between when I speak and when you hear me, so do be aware that you need to be specific, okay? You want me to repeat that sound, or you want me to repeat that word, I'll definitely repeat it. And we'll see how we go. It's going to be a very interesting session with you all. Okay, so now we're going to our Google Slides, and I see the backstage man, the great backstage Jeffrey, has preempted me and put the slides up already. Okay, so let's just go through all the pronunciation exercises again. Okay, so you will be able to find this session on YouTube after I've finished. After the 3 hours of the next few hours, you'll be able to find it on YouTube, and you'll be able to rewind and see the session again and practice again and again and again. Okay, so let's just take the ah sound. Okay, that's one of the most difficult for you guys, I know. Yeah, it's especially those who are Spanish speaking, it is particularly challenging, or Portuguese or anything. The sound, it's even the Russians, I don't think you have the sound in many other languages. It's a very smiley sound. Okay, so open those cheeks of yours. Okay, good. Barbara and Robert, great. Barbara, you're new. And Robert, it's good to see you again. Yeah. And Isa Zaragoza. Lovely. I see all these Spanish people here. So it's lovely, lovely, lovely seeing you. And I'm really glad that you're joining me today. Okay. What I'd like you to do to practice this it's a very flat sound. Okay, it's not an ah sound. When you open your mouth fully, you open your mouth part way, but you smile, okay, see, I can't say when my mouth is like that. Okay, I'm going to make funny faces at you. All right, I can't make an sound if my mouth is like that. I can only do that. I'm exaggerating slightly to help you to listen. Your tongue, you see your teeth are there, your tongue is here. It's slightly back, and slightly curled up. But you say the sound at the back of the throat and you push it forward. It's more or less here, middle, back, middle, and then you push it forward. All right? Now let's practice, okay? You repeat after me, so there will be a silence. Cat. You know, I stroked my cat. And again, cat. Good. Hat. I put my hat on. Hat. Hat. It helps if you smile. All right. Tap. Tap. I turned the tap on. Now, the Americans call it a faucet. We call it a tap. That thing that water runs through so that you can get your cup of water, or you can bath or whatever. All right, or you can shower. It's a tap. Fan. The fan was going round and cooling me because it was very hot. Fan, fan. And then apple. Apple. Excuse me. Apple. Good. Right. Then we have this magic E. We call it the silent E, but in school it's called the magic E. The magic E at the end of a word changes the vowel in the middle, as long as there are not too many consonants in between, okay? So, make, we're going down the column, hey? Make. I'm going to make, what shall I make? I'll make, I'm trying to think of what I'll make. I'll make a face mask this afternoon. Make. Good. Do you say your M's and your K's? Make. Ruben, hi. Good to see you. Yeah, nice that you can join us. Okay, just repeat after me. We're doing pronunciation revision, so we're going a little bit faster than we did last time, and we're not going to do any reading for the moment. So make, then hate, hate, hate is a very strong word. Hate, hate. So it's an A sound. It's not A sound. A, A. It's kind of two sounds. Okay. A, hate, make, 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 hate. Able, 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 able. A, A, A. It sounds like A, 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 A. It's not A, but A, A. Okay? A, able. Came. Say the M, came. Then tape. Yeah, good, tape. Your P isn't very strong, but you must be able to hear it, okay? Tape, tape. Good. Now you can see in the third column, the words that you make from the short form, making, must also be pronounced in the same word. You don't pronounce it macking, that would be M-A-C-K. You pronounce it making, all right? It is as though the E is there, even though it isn't. Then hating. Good, good. I'm sure you're getting it right. And taping. And taping. Good. Right. Now you can see the first two columns. I've just added a few to each column. The first column's the same, the A. You also get great, okay, A. So it's a different spelling. Sorry, the door's banging. So great, make, A. Now notice the EA. The EA has several different pronunciations. This is A, 8, great. Hate, break, able, freight. Then making, good. Pray, repeat after me, pray. Hating, play, play. Then your AI. Mostly it's pronounced like this, okay? A, aim or straight. AI, aim. And please, Spanish people, say the M. It's important. It's important to actually say the M. I know some of you. Hi, Chinsia again. It's good to see you. Aim, aim. Spanish people, please say the M, aim. We must hear it, okay? Then wait, wait. For those of you who don't know, I'm going to be continuing the discussion of the articles tomorrow, and it depends on what happens, but I probably will have to do it for more sessions than I planned, because the articles are quite lengthy and they are quite important, very important actually. But we're just doing a quick run through of pronunciation again, because it does need practice, okay? All right. If I speak too fast, please just scribble a note and tell me, Karen, please, would you speak slower? And I will happily do so. Okay. Wait, wait. GH here does not have a pronunciation, okay? In many words, it is not pronounced, okay? It just changes the sound of the vowel. Wait, okay? Not white, wait. Came, faint, They, also EY words, they, whey. I'm talking about the milk, curds, and whey, spelt exactly the same, just with a W at the front. And jail. Okay, that's slightly different in sound because you get your whole sound, which changes the AE sound slightly, but it's still the beginning jail. Okay, jail. Good. Let's go to the next slide, and we're going to pronounce again the sound. Okay, the sound. Pet. I had a dog as a pet until January when I had to put it down. Get. I'd love to get a new pet. Wet. It's going to be raining and it's going to be wet outside. Right. Now this, the E before the L is slightly different. The L changes the E sound, okay? So you go towel, towel, towel. Can you hear? It's not it's L. It's a kind of funny sound, okay? It's not actually in the charts, so I've just left it. I haven't put a symbol for it because I've seen nothing in the charts ever about that particular sound. Tell, tell, well. Oh, it's a very good question. What's the difference in pronunciation between wait and wait? Okay, wait is pronounced wait and wait is pronounced wait. So both the W-A-I-T and W-E-I-G-H-T are pronounced in the same way. It's the context that will give you the difference, and it's fairly easy 99.99% of the time to tell which it means, but that's where we can have puns and play on words, and yeah, we can actually do a little bit of poetry with that. It's actually quite fun. Okay, then very good question. Thank you for the question, Isa. Well, I'm very well today. I'm enjoying myself. Bell. He rings the bell. Bell. Okay. Then again, we have our magic E, our silent E, which changes the middle. Yeah. And then we'll just do the long E sound. Okay. So forget the first letter. It's not supposed to be up there. It's the I kind of sound. That's the E kind of sound. Okay. So meme. There are lots of memes about the coronavirus. Pictures with words on them. Meme. Meme. Spanish people, meme. Meme. Must say the M. You don't have to say it very strongly, but I'm exaggerating it so that you do. If you were Russian, I would be telling you to speak more softly. Meme. Okay? Meme. You just close your lips and hum. Okay? Go down the list. Meter. It's a meter apart. We have to keep 2 meters apart. Well, actually, we only have to keep 1 meter apart, but never mind. Who knows? Bean. Bean, B-E-E-N, and bean, the bean that you eat, is B-E-A-N, exactly the same, okay? Then this Eve, same thing, the silent E, changing the middle E. And then we have the same E sound. It's not a silent E, but it's the E sound. Keep. I'm going to keep on doing these lessons. Keep. And please say the P sound. It doesn't have to be explosive, but just keep. Can you hear how softly I say that? Keep. Then team. The pond was teeming with life. Okay, there's a lot of vibrant life in there. It's a verb. Team. Team. T-E-A-M. The team. The team at work was playing volleyball together. that's also pronounced exactly the same. You'll find quite a few words that are pronounced exactly the same. Okay. Then B, it's not be, it's not, you know that it's B, it's quite a long E. Okay. And B, the little buzzing thing, the little buzzing insect, the one that's dying out, yeah, is, oh, sorry, I think I've lost you. I don't know. Have I lost you? I have not. Just let me see, sorry. No, I haven't. I don't know what happened. I was trying to switch something off. B-E-E, okay, the little buzzing thing. Good. Then I'm going to go to the eh sound again, further eh sounds. We've done some of them. I'm just doing some more. Send, eh, send, nda, nda. Do remember to say the nda. Send. Okay. And then red or dead. Be careful because there are other ways to say red, okay? There's the red color. I read the book, read as in past tense, read. And then friend, friend, friend. Weather. What's the weather like in your country, in your city? Leather. His handbag was, or her handbag was made of leather. You don't often get men with handbags. It's actually more of a female thing for most people. Then we're coming to the E sound again. Okay, the E sound, but with different spelling. Bream. He caught a bream in the river the other day, or in the dam, and we had it for supper. It's a fish, bream. Or beam, the wooden beam. Okay, see, okay. Eat. Team again. Read, present tense. Present tense. So the E sound is in present tense and the air sound is past tense. That's how we tell the difference, okay? Because we don't have a different ending for the word. Then interesting ones, ski and pizza. E, pizza. Sorry if we mispronounced the Italian word, but slightly, but that's how we've adopted it, okay? Pizza, ski. We've adopted a lot of words in the English language, which is why it's just so illogical in terms of spelling. Okay, then machine, machine. Again, the silent E changes the I to an E sound. So it can change the E or it can change the I to an E sound. And liter. So it's not litter, it's liter. Okay. Can we carry on? Let's just see. Okay. Then we have the I sound. Okay, the I. You can see the symbol is slightly different. The I. The bin. Anything with ing, making, running, I. I've gone across, by the way. Then we go down, lid, they put the lid on it. Kiss, good. Italy, gym, gym, okay? So we do say it in exactly the same way as the I in this sentence, in this sense. Kill, bill, so it's not quite the same because of the eel, the L, again the L changes the I slightly. There's a kind of a slide into the L. Kill, bill, build, build, can you hear? Build, build. I just showed you the ski and machine and liter and machine just to show the long, that the vowels are long here, the I's are long. Okay, just to remind you. Then we're going to change now to the I sound, I. And here the E changes the I in the middle, the vowel in the middle to an I sound, okay? So you have wine. People are worried because they can't buy their wine at this time of lockdown. Time. Time, what's the time? Please say the M. Time. And again, dine. We can't dine at our favorite restaurant. Please do say the N to the Spanish people. N. Dine. Good. Excellent. Ice. It feels ice cold today because there's a really cold wind. Find. Find. I can't find the elephant on the video. Style. Many people's style and dress sense is going out the window during the lockdown. My, you know my. Apply. I'd like to apply for a license to sell alcohol. Okay. Buy, and buy. All pronounced exactly the same. Buy, buy. The first buy is goodbye. The second buy is the preposition. And the third buy is I'm going to buy something from the grocery store. I think you know this, but I just wanted to make sure. Exactly the same sound, guide. Not guide, guide. All right. We don't ever say G-U, gu, okay? So you can know that that's eliminated from your pronunciation now. Guide. Quite. Quite, okay, quite. The qu sound is something that might be new to some of you. Qu. It's not k, it's qu, quite. Because the QU says qu, all right? Quail, quarry, etc. Quite, quiet. So also quiet, okay, this is quite long, but if you just put the E the other side of the T, it would be quiet. Okay, but the I would still remain the I sound. Quiet. It's very quiet. There's no noise. It's quite long. That's also an I sound. Again, your GH, might and height. Let's do that. Might and height. Good. The GH is silent as for many of the times, okay? Then we got our ear sounds, Field. Real, oh, sorry, I'm going down. Field. So it's not just a single sound, ear, okay? Ear. Can you see at the top, the E and are the sounds that it uses, the phonetic sounds. The the neutral sound, the schwa, as some people call it. I hate that word for some reason, so I don't use it. So just so that you know. Ear. Field. Wield. He came into the field wielding a mighty sword. Okay. Shield. His sword struck the shield. Then a different spelling. Reeled. I reeled from shock. Reeled. Ear. Wheel. Ear. Wheel. Deal. Steal. Near. And ear. Okay, I will now go on to the next slide. Just 1 second. Here. Okay. Good. Oh my word. Sorry, for some reason, Chrome decided to shut down without my permission. So I now have to restart the process. I've no idea why it did that. Okay. It says restore, so I shall restore. Technology, there we go. Let's see if I can enter the StreamYard again. Here we go. There we go. And we're going on to present. Just a second. It's coming slowly but surely. It's just taking a little while. Sorry about this. Technology in this day and age. It's taking its pretty time, but we shall be patient. Okay, I can now close that actually. Here we go. This should work now. At last. And it's loading, so I shall sip a cup of coffee. All right. I hope you have your cup of coffee with you and are drinking it merrily away. Okay, here we go. All right, so I've just done that. I've repeated that. So I will go on to the next sound, the sound, the neutral sound, okay? I don't like calling it a schwa. I call it a neutral sound, okay? Be aware that some people call it SCHWA, schwa. Don't know why, I don't like it. It's like drawing your nails down a chalkboard. I can't stand the word, so I don't use it. Okay, so now, hi, Ms. Algana. It's good to see you. Welcome. We're practicing our pronunciation. We're going through the basics. We've gone through them last time. We're going through the basics pretty quickly. All right, Anada, you're most welcome. Thank you for joining us. Tell us where you're from, and yeah, then we can carry on with our session. Just want to say, if you want to ask a question, or if you want me to repeat something, please just say. If you want me to go slower, I will go slower. If you want me to go faster, I will go faster. Just tell me and I'm happy, okay? Right, so now we're going on to the sound, right? It's just a kind of like a It's not very, it's always the unemphasized syllable in a word, okay? The is a weak form, what we call a weak form. So it's never ever the emphasis. I would never say about, all right? No, we say about. About, can you hear? About. About. Good. Going down the list, written, written, written. Can you hear? It's not the emphasized section. Written. Family. 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 In fact, we say it sometimes when we're talking. The is often shortened to almost nothing. All right, so family. You can hear it's almost not there. You can say family, fine. But if you're talking fast, family is fine. You can leave out the sound. memory, memory. Can you hear it? Me-mer-re. And again, you can leave it out. Memory, memory. Brutal, brutal. Again, the the emphasis, okay? Brutal. Then season, See, all these letters, A, E, I, O, U, can all be said in an way. Season, season. And there we do pronounce both syllables, by the way. It's only in 3 syllable words that you can leave the out, okay? 3 or more syllables. We tend not to leave it out in 2 syllable words. We always pronounce it in 2 syllable words. Season. Teacher. Again, the E close to the end of the word. Teacher. Thorough. And I'm going to go through all these OUGH words. They are difficult. Thorough. 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 Okay. So even OU can make a sound. Thorough. Thorough. Okay. Finally, this has got the right place. Here, there are 2 sounds, U and U. U and U. Okay. On the left is the U sound and U on the right. You can see that the spelling, at least on the first word on the right block and the first few words in the left block are exactly the same. Okay. But U is a shortened sound. It's not completely short, but it's much shorter than the U sound. Ooh, ooh. It's in Spanish, it's the what you would say for your U. Okay. Ooh. Book. Except our U is very seldom pronounced like that. Okay, so we almost never, except for the one word I'll show you, we almost never pronounce our U as a U sound. Okay. So book, keep it short. Good look put together. Good look put together. I'm going across now. Put. And now down. Foot. Repeat after me. Foot. Nada, because there's a lag, when you ask a question about a long vowel or a short vowel, I actually need to know what word you're talking about. Can you please tell me which words you're talking about? Okay, I can go back in my slides, it's not a problem. Because when I speak, there's about a minute or 2 between my speaking and your hearing. It's the internet. So, so if you can just be very specific when you ask a question, I'd really appreciate it. Thank you so much. But I love your question. Thank you. Okay. Foot is a short vowel. And then sugar, sugar. Okay. Can you hear the U sound and then the neutral sound? U, sugar. Good. Right, we've done good and put. Would, would. It's slightly because, again, your elders would. It's not quite as good. Would, book, book, good. Slightly different because the ending consonant does change your vowel sound automatically. Would and should. But it's very fractional. Only I could probably hear it. Okay. Then we're going on to our long U sounds, okay? So let's go down the list. Food. Blue. true. Blue, again, it's a different kind of blue. Do. Can you see all the different spellings coming through? U-E-O-O-E-W, and then just a single O, all right? So do. Good. Fruit, 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 U-I, group, O-U, O-U, through, okay? When there's not an O before the R, it's through. Again, the GH is not pronounced. The GH is not pronounced, okay? Route. Now, the Americans will say route for this. Yeah, I don't know why. Sometimes I get very puzzled as to why our pronunciation is so different. Okay, and then move, ooh. Okay, let me just go back to the slides. Move. Good. Then we're going to go to the ah sound. The ah sound. Okay, are you all with me? Ah. Good. It's an open mouth sound. Ah, ah, ah. But it's not ah. Mud, mad, mud. Short, sweet, and to the point. Mud. I'm glad we don't have to walk in the mud at this time of year. Sucker. The octopus's tentacles have got suckers on them to grip things. Truck. The truck going past is very noisy. Pluck. He plucked the chicken's feathers. And then we come to our wonderful O-U-G-H words. Tough. Ah sound. Tough. Okay. Enough. I haven't got enough. And rough. Okay. Well done. Good. Now, let me just find this here. There we go. The or sound. The or sound. Tall. Or. Can you hear the W in it? Or. Close your, make your mouth a w sound. So it's not that there's a strong w sound. It's more that your mouth forms the w as though you're going to say w. Tall. Tall. Always. Okay, I'm exaggerating. Always. Always. Walk. Walk. Port. 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 Just repeat after me. Port. Cord. Do you say the D unless it's there's another T in the word next to it and the word following? Cord. Order. Order. Can you see all the different spellings? Order. Water. Warm. Law. Good. Pause. And then we have a lovely GHT word, court, or. And bought. Okay, now I'm going to pause there just to go through some of the OUGH words. We've got bought, okay. So let's just go to the top left-hand side column and we'll just go through them, okay. Though, that's an O sound, okay, though. I know these will need a lot of practicing, so we're just going to practice and practice. Though, thought, thorough, we did the sound. Through, it's the oo sound, like food, through. Cough. Yes, Robert's asking, is it the same pronunciation for chord and C-H-O-R-D? Yes, it is. The chord are the notes of a music scale, the chord. Which chord are you using? Yes, it's exactly the same. Thank you for asking that. Okay. And then tough. Tough. Okay. All right. So let's go though, and notice the TH is different, okay? Though, then thought, then thorough, then through, cough, and tough. Okay, so though is the only one where you pronounce the th, all right? So far, okay? Though, although, same thing. Okay, let's go to the next slide. We're going to go through those again, all right? So, because it is one of those difficult and challenging things. We're going to the sound, all right? So turn. MSK Algana asks, how many vowels are in English? There's spelling vowels, how many syllables I was thinking of, but how many vowels? Oh, there are 5 vowels in the English language. I think that's what you're asking. I don't think you're asking in the English word. There are 5 vowels, A, E, I, O, U. But we have far more pronunciation vowels, okay? So phonetic vowels, they a lot more. Okay. All right. So we have vowels and then consonants. So 5 vowels and 21 consonants. But the vowel sounds are different because of the combinations, because we just have a spelling from different countries. So we are, unfortunately, English is a sound language. You have to learn the words. You cannot just look at a word and know the spelling. So you now go to you go to places like Forvo or your dictionary, and it'll give you these phonetic spellings. Or Forvo actually gives you the sound in American English and British English, okay? So we're focusing on British English, or a Briticized form of English, which is found in many countries in the world. And then the American accent is a bit different, and I can't do an American accent very easily, so don't ask me to do that. So here, turn, burn, learn, work, repeat after me, world, world. Can you hear the it's not world, sorry, the Americans make it like that, okay? But English people don't. We go earl, world. Purred, purred, the cat purred. Heard and heard, exactly, a herd of cattle, and I heard his voice. All right, exactly the same. How, and do you say your, okay, I'm just going to mention H, because I know H can be very difficult. It's not a sound. It's not said at the back of the throat. We actually don't vocalize it. We don't make any sounds. It's very much like a breath of air. It's wind. Okay? How? Your voice is not part of it. How? And again, you are closing your mouth into a w sound. W at the end of how. House, go down the list. About. Tout. It's often associated with gambling, but there are other meanings. Tout. Town. And do say the N, Spanish people. Lovely Spanish people, we'd love you to hear the N's. They are important to us. We can't understand you without them. Town. Now. Right. Now we're moving into the last stretch. Art. It's the R sound. Here it's open mouth. R. Art. I'm going to make a strawberry tart and eat it. Tart. What I'm doing here is teaching you very clear pronunciation of the words on their own. You will know that as you go into speaking, we eliminate a lot of the sounds, okay? And we squish them into each other and we make different sounds, 3 words into one sound, okay? So that's something that we will do, remind you of slightly later. Market. Can you see it's not market? Unless you're South African, it's market. That's British, market. Okay. Heart, heart. We have so many wonderful combinations of spellings, don't we? Class, class. Castle. Did you notice something there? What did I leave out? Tell me, what did I leave out? I will wait until you've typed it for me on the screen. What letter did I leave out when I pronounced that? Castle. I'm going to carry on with the others, but just tell me the letter on the screen. Which one did I leave out? Okay, so dance. You can see this is where the Americans are a little bit different. They will say dance. Half, the Americans say half. Father. And I'm going to give you some time to practice the TH sound. The, father. And calm. All right, there are 2. Yes, well done, Robert. You left out. I left out the T. We don't say the T. In fact, I should actually do something on the silent letters. If it's STLE, we don't say the T. Okay. I can't think of other words with STLE actually, but that's a rule. Then calm. Let me know now which letter you left out. I left out calm. Which letter did I leave out? Which letter is silent? Let me know and I'll come back to that. yeah, afterwards. I think, is that the last one? Let me just check. Yes, it's the last one. Okay. That means I must go up here. Okay. And I've got to do something else here. Right. Now, sorry, this is just a bit confusing. So I'm just changing slides. Okay. We're going on to some consonants. And I'm now going to share the screen. It takes a little while. Sorry. Okay. There we go. And then I've got to click present. So it takes a short time. Let me see. Have you? I will see now. There you go. I've just got to click present and we're ready. Okay. Sorry, it's just a slow to do this online sometimes. It takes its time. Okay. I'm just waiting. Oh, there we go. Finally. Okay. Now we're going to do the sounds. Yes, Myra, you got it right. The L was left out. Okay. Calm, the L was left out. Right. That's also a silent letter. LM, very often left out. I will do, actually, that's one thing I didn't do is the silent letters. I'm going to do a little session on silent letters. Okay. All right. Do you tell me, all of you, do you have silent letters in your language? Let me know. Just say, yes, we have silent letters in our language. That will be enough for me. It'll be interesting to find out. Okay, now I'm going to go through this, the f sound. I think most of you will be able to say, it's not a v sound, it's a f. All right, putting your teeth onto your lip. Foot, food, few, and laugh. So GH sometimes is nothing and sometimes it's laugh. It's a f sound. Laugh, laugh, or cough. All right, cough. The v sound is very important for Spanish people. All right, so here you're touching your lip with your teeth. So it's not a b sound, okay? B, I'm exaggerating how you pop your b out, but here it's put your voice in, okay? The f is without the voice and the v is with the voice. If you feel your lower lip vibrating, you've done it right, okay? If you feel your lower lip vibrating, you've done it right. Obviously, when we talk, it's not quite as pronounced as that, not quite as strong. But here we go. View. View. Again, the EU sound. EU. EU. View. Vest. We're going down the list. Vest. Cave. Next column. Shovel. That O very often in a sentence, in a word, changes to an A sound. Okay, so Robert says in Spanish, we pronounce almost every letter except sometimes the H. Okay. Okay, thank you for that. Shovel, A-E, shovel. Vendor, vendor. And then a double V, revving. It doesn't matter that it's double V. There's no extra pronunciation like there would be in Italian. Okay. Sorry, wrong one. There. Then now we're going to go to our sound. All right. What you do is your teeth are here, and you put your tongue here, but allow some air between the tongue and the teeth. So it's not very strongly against the teeth. It's a little bit at the back and to the front like that. And you just blow air. You don't make a th sound, which is the next one, but you go H in the Italian language is silent, says Cinzia. Interesting. Okay, thin, thin. Then I have a lovely word for you. Ninth, okay? There are so many syllables together, it's quite difficult. Ninth, okay? Ninth. Ninth. He was number 9 on the list. He was 9th. Then thick. Thick. No voice, remember? And path. I think we might just have time to squish this the sound in. Okay, so definitely your tongue is at the bottom of your teeth, but you have to allow some air between. So it's not strongly pressed against your teeth. It's softly pressed against your teeth, and air and voice come between the teeth and the tongue. Okay, so the. Okay. Then though, I'm exaggerating how you say it, just so that you can hear it. Though. Brothers, can you see how the O changes to an A sound? Very, very often, the O in the middle of a word changes to an A sound. Brothers, brothers. Let's quickly do the last 3. That, them, and other. Again, here it's actually at the beginning of the word, and it's still an ah sound. Okay, other. Well, that's all I have time for today. Thank you very much for your participation. It was really good chatting to you, and I'm sure I'll see you next time. Tomorrow, remember, I'm doing the TH. I'm doing the articles, the, a, an, a, the, or no article. Remember, I'm carrying on from our lesson last time. Take care and goodbye.
Later on, the student and the teacher can meet in a different country, and then the relationship become very good. We drink coffee together, and we go and I ride a motorbike, and I take them along somewhere beautiful together, and we talk together, and then they come back to the country, and we become teacher and student again. We study again. Yeah.
The number of refugees worldwide has reached historic levels, as tens of millions of people seek asylum from conflicts in their home countries. Even for those able to reach countries willing to take them in, rebuilding their lives and careers in unfamiliar societies often proves challenging. For one group of refugees living in Istanbul, teaching online Arabic lessons to students across the world has offered a way to overcome these obstacles and establish new hope. As well as earning income, they have been able to share their experiences with people from different cultures and backgrounds, cultivating meaningful relationships with students.
My name is Rahaf and I'm from Latakia, Syria. Previously, I had a normal but busy life.
My name is Abdullah and I'm a Syrian guy from Homs, the capital of funny jokes.
Hello, my name is Amr. I'm an Arabic teacher on italki. I'm from Egypt.
Hi, I'm Hussam. I'm from Syria, Al Hasaka, and I'm a teacher on italki now.
3 years ago, I came to Turkey, to Istanbul. Many challenges came in one time. Leaving a country is not, or leaving your home. This is one. It's like fish out of the group.
I mean, yeah, the challenge that my career is almost dead. This is the only challenge now. Online teaching, yeah, it solves this problem, of course, because you can just be wherever and get online and start your class.
What italki offered me is like new students I have never met from another continent, way far from me. Once they want to like learn my language, I feel like this is like, I feel sometimes emotional.
italki, Besta College and NGO Small Projects Istanbul are working together on this project.
You know, it's important for people to kind of see and get to know someone who's experiencing a difficult time or who has had a difficult past, and to just remember people are people are people. We need to remember that, you know, we have a shared humanity, and I think that gets lost a lot in the media or in the news.
I'm teaching Arabic for first-year students of Arabic in America. We both enjoy teaching and learning online. It's an amazing experience for me as a teacher. I find it so helpful for me, also for the students.
Going into it, people might like have these assumptions that you're supposed to like learn something about refugees or like understand something new. But I think it's like most valuable to realize that like you're not really learning anything new other than that like this is like just another person just like you.
My tutor Mohammed was like so nice and so willing to work with my level of speaking and comprehension.
At the beginning, teaching online was a new experience for me, and it had a lot of challenges, but now I'm used to it. And honestly, I'm enjoying teaching Arabic on italki.
I care now. I care more. I care more about the language. I care more about my students. Teaching Arabic is something valuable for me. Maybe give me hope, or I feel gain hope. It's reward for me.
Hi, I'm a language learning app.
Can we move on?
This is a dog.
I don't have a dog.
Repeat after me. This person eats bread.
I want to practice English for my job interview.
Shh. Incorrect. You haven't reached this lesson yet. Now repeat after me. This person eats bread.
Fine. This person eats bread.
That's better. Moving on.
¿Cansado de aplicaciones de idiomas inflexibles? Usa italki para aprender como tú quieras aprender y estudiar cualquier idioma con nativos.
Meet Peter. He is learning Chinese. He was studying on his own with textbooks, flashcards, and apps, but is still having problems with basic conversation. This is Maria. She loves learning English, but she doesn't have many opportunities to use it. With italki, Peter and Maria are able to get personal online lessons to help them become fluent in a foreign language. You can start learning a language on italki today. Just follow these 3 simple steps. 1. Select the language. English, Spanish, Chinese, French, Japanese. italki has teachers for every language. 2. Select the teacher. With italki, you can choose from thousands of experienced teachers from all over the world. And 3. Schedule a lesson. Online language lessons are the next best thing to living in a foreign country. With italki, you'll have a personal language teacher and real conversations with native speakers. Every day, thousands of people are connecting to international teachers through italki. Find a teacher today and become fluent in a foreign language.
Hi, my name's Tom. I'm from the US, I'm a chemical engineer, and I'm passionate about language learning. I've used italki to learn 8 languages to a conversational level. I grew up in Colorado, where I was exposed to many different cultures, which cultivated my interest in languages. One of the first languages I became conversational in was Norwegian. I decided to book a trip to Norway. To prepare, I found a group class with around 7 people. Not only were they extremely expensive, it was around $40 to $50 per lesson, but progress was also frustratingly slow due to the size of the class. I heard about italki from a positive review from a famous polyglot. I was amazed to discover that I could learn any language I want, one-on-one, and for the fraction of the price as offline classes. I thought, how is this even possible? I immediately signed up with 2 teachers in Norwegian. One teacher, we would have conversation lessons and go through a textbook, and with the other teacher, we would go through worksheets and chat about random things. So essentially, I structured the classes in a way that would suit my own learning style, which never would have happened without italki. Within a year, I was relatively fluent in Norwegian. I was so happy that I could actually go to the country and use the language in a practical setting. And the best part is that I really enjoyed the learning process. I thought, why stop there? I picked up Italian and mixed my interest in Italian cooking with lessons on italki. After learning Italian for a year and going to northern Italy, I was able to easily get around and communicate with people. I then decided to set myself a personal goal of passing an advanced Italian exam, and my teacher on italki helped me to achieve this. I was hooked. I'd found the ultimate formula for learning a language from scratch and staying motivated. I would book a holiday in a new country in 1 year's time so that I could put the language into practice. I did the same with Japanese, French, German, Russian, Czech, and Hungarian, and even explored Chinese, Thai, Serbian, Farsi, and Sicilian. From this process, I made so many valuable friendships and connections that has improved not only my communication, but also my confidence. Whether I'm watching the news in German, reading about Italian politics, speaking to my cats in Norwegian, on the phone to my friends in Bergen, or watching fitness and nutrition videos in Czech, I find a way to get at least some practice of one of the languages every day. I found the best way to stay motivated is to align my interests with my language learning, and in that way it doesn't take over my whole life, which people often believe. I find this way of learning on italki so much fun.
Lingvi es una aplicación móvil que ayuda a practicar idiomas de manera instantánea conectando a usuarios disponibles en todo el mundo. Con Lingvi encontrarás personas nativas dispuestas a ayudarte a practicar el idioma que desees aprender. Los usuarios con tiempo libre se mostrarán disponibles para recibir llamadas y de esta forma ganarán recompensas ayudando a otros usuarios. Así es como conectamos personas de forma colaborativa y gratuita en nuestra aplicación. Únete a nuestra comunidad, haz nuevos amigos y mejora en todos los idiomas que quieras. Descarga Lingvi y practiquemos juntos.
Este es Peter. Está aprendiendo chino. Ha intentado estudiar por su cuenta con libros, tarjetas de vocabulario y aplicaciones móviles, pero sigue teniendo problemas para hablar. Esta es María. Le encanta aprender inglés, pero no tiene oportunidades para ponerlo en práctica. Con italki, Peter y María pueden recibir clases personales online para hablar con fluidez en otro idioma. Tú también puedes aprender un idioma en italki. Empieza hoy en 3 simples pasos. Primero, elige un idioma. Inglés, alemán, chino, francés, japonés. Italki tiene profesores para cualquier idioma. Segundo, escoge un profesor. Con italki puedes escoger entre miles de profesores con experiencia de todo el mundo. Tercero, elige el horario de tu lección. Las clases de idiomas online son el mejor método para aprender con profesores nativos. Con italki tendrás un profesor de idiomas personal y conversaciones reales con hablantes nativos. Cada día miles de personas aprenden con profesores internacionales a través de italki. Encuentra un profesor hoy y domina el idioma de tu lección.
Hi everyone, it's Vicente and I teach Spanish on italki.com. And today we will be talking about 3 grammar rules to follow when you start learning Spanish. The first one is that, as you have already heard, Spanish verbs are always conjugated. That means that they have to match with the subject of the sentence. For example, there are different pronouns in Spanish. Yo, tú, él, ella, usted, nosotros, nosotras, vosotros, vosotras, and ellos, ellas, y ustedes. All these pronouns have their own conjugations, and it's very common for beginners to mix them up. So remember this. When you start to conjugate the verbs, they have to match. The second rule is very important as well. The Spanish nouns and adjectives has to be in the same level. Let me explain you this. If you have a noun that is feminine and plural, for example, las mujeres, the adjective that you have to use right after the noun has to be feminine and plural as well. For example, las mujeres españolas. It is the same with the articles las, female and plural. We use this article because, as I say, it's female and plural. The third rule I already mentioned before, and be careful, English speakers, because the adjectives in Spanish go after the noun, not before like in English. This is very common for students that learn Spanish and already speak or know English. When I say it, las mujeres españolas, españolas is the adjective, and I put it after las mujeres. In English, it would be the Spanish woman, but not in Spanish. Okay, there are some occasions where the adjectives go before the nouns. That is true, but normally this use comes out at intermediate level or advanced level, so do not worry when you are a beginner. Thanks for watching this video, and don't forget to subscribe to the italki YouTube channel over here. Take a lesson with me on italki.com by clicking on my teacher profile link in the description. Hasta luego! Hi everyone, it's Vicente and I teach Spanish on italki.com, and today I will be talking about 7 Spanish words that are similar to their English counterpart. These words are also known.
Hi there, everyone. It's Nas from Antalya in Turkey. I'm a native English speaker from South Africa, but at the moment I am in Antalya where the weather is great. So where in the world are you guys from? I've been doing this for a few days, so I think most of you already know me. All right. So if you can just type in the chat who you are and where you are from, and then that way I can also assess whether we're getting the comments immediately during the lesson. I'd really appreciate it if you guys interact, if you put your comments in the chat, because interaction really does make the class so much more interesting. Okay, so if you can tell me where you are from and perhaps even how long you have been studying English. Okay, guys? So if you can let me know where are you from and how long you have been studying English. Okay, I'm going to let a few of you join so that we can do this. Okay, so you love it. Okay, especially the nature, such as the Galapagos Islands. That's amazing. What's the weather like in your country at the moment, Erica? I'm going to assume, where did you say you're from? You're from Ecuador. So it's the end of it's the end of your summer, beginning of autumn. Am I correct? Hey, David, thank you for joining. Okay, guys. So now that I know a couple of you are here, let's get started with our first idiom. All right, guys. So the idiom is bite the bullet. I've actually made it easy for you today. Bite the bullet. That's the idiom. Any ideas what it means? Any ideas what it means when I say something like, ooh, I bit the bullet, past tense, of course. I bite the bullet. I bit the bullet last week. Okay, did I actually bite a bullet? No, and I hope not. It's an idiom, so obviously it has another meaning. So bite the bullet. What do you guys think it means? All right, it means to accept something that's difficult or unpleasant, a difficult situation or an unpleasant situation. So when was the last time you bit the bullet? Or when was the last time you had to bite the bullet? When was the last time you had to accept something difficult or unpleasant? All right, let's see what you guys have to say. Oops, I don't think we were sharing the screen. Sorry, guys. Sorry. All right, let me go back. My apologies. So, bite the bullet. That is the first idiom of the day. To accept something difficult or unpleasant. So, when was the last time you had to bite the bullet? When was the last time you bit the bullet? Okay, sorry guys about that. Let's see what you have to say. So, Erica, it's a sunny day in your country. All right. Okay, so when was the last time you bit the bullet? When was the last time you had to bite the bullet? Okay, so perhaps it was a situation at work when you were not happy with things, but you had to bite the bullet. So I appreciate it if you guys commented in the chat so that we can interact. Otherwise, I'm simply lecturing to you. It's not much fun for me. Okay, so when was the last time you bit the bullet? When was the last time you had to bite the bullet? Okay, and I'll go back and I will check your messages later. Now, another question for you guys today. What's the biggest risk you have ever taken? What's the bigger risk? What's the biggest risk you've ever taken? So up until now, what's the biggest risk you've ever taken? I think for me, it was leaving my home country and going to China many years ago. A new country, a new job, a new culture. Everything was brand new. So, what's the biggest risk you've ever taken? So, moving to a foreign country and not knowing the language, not knowing much about the culture, not even really knowing much about the school I was going to teach at, a teeny tiny school in Changchun in the north of China. They had a few branches, but I mean, it wasn't one of the big names like Wall Street English, or EF, or British Council, or any of those. All of that happened much later. But when I went to Changchun, it was a teeny tiny school in the middle of nowhere. So, guys, what's the biggest risk you've ever taken? please feel free to type away in the chat like I am doing now. So moving to a different country was the biggest risk. Hello, Saleha, welcome and thanks for the compliment. It's Massimo Dutti. Just have to put that information in. So what's the biggest risk you have ever taken? Okay, please type in the chat. Okay, please type in the chat. Otherwise, it's just me having the lesson with myself, which is not a ton of fun. So what's the biggest risk you have ever taken? Okay, and while I'm waiting for your answers very patiently, I'll move on to the next question. All right, idiom time. So I have given you a few clues for this one, and you might recognize Johnny Depp. Yep. But what is the idiom and what does it mean? Oops, sorry guys, this one, oh, how did I do that? No, I don't want subtitles. Oops, sorry, we're going crazy now. Okay, okay, sorry. Okay, sorry. What I meant to do was say to you guys that I think when I reconfigured this, sorry, this is one word. So something as a something. There's a letter here. So let's, yeah. Sorry about that. And for those of you who are eagle-eyed, you would have seen the answer. So let's see which one or which one of you managed to sneak a peek at the answer. The biggest risk I have ever taken, yep, was moving to a new country. I think that is always the case. Okay, the sound is distorted. All right, let me just check with the tune if there's an issue. So let me just check with Jeffrey. And if there is a technical problem, we will fix it. Okay, but in the meantime, maybe, okay, Erica, you can't hear as well. All right. Anyone else having problems, please just type in the chat and we will look into it and get back to you right now. Okay. How's the sound, guys? Anyone else? The sound's a bit distorted, all right. Let's look into that. And Erica, okay, you can't hear as well. I'm just going to keep speaking and let's see what's going on. If you, oh, bad sound. Okay, guys, okay. Please be patient while we reboot, okay? Okay, guys, I am back. Can you hear me? If you guys can, please let me know in the chat whether you can hear me. Oh, okay. Jeffrey, you can hear me. All right. Okay, good. All right. According to Jeffrey, we are back and we are live and the sound should be significantly better. There's a slight delay. If you guys can, just let me know if you can hear me. Okay, can you hear me? Okay. All right, guys, can you hear me? So my last question was bite the bullet. When was the last time you had to bite the bullet? Oh, there's a real delay in the time. Okay, when was the last time you had to bite the bullet? So I'm going to go back to the comments where, let me see. Saleha said the biggest risk I have ever taken was moving to a different city. And where did you move to? And what was the most challenging thing about moving to a new city? Was it finding an apartment? Was it getting along with a roommate? Was it getting around the city? So what was the most challenging thing about moving to that new city? I'd really love to know. All right, and while I'm waiting for your comments, let's take a look at this idiom, okay? And let's do some hangman. So we've already got our A, B, I don't think so, C, nope, D, oh yes, we have a D, E, well, it's already here, F, no way, G, nope, H, yes, it's actually here. So any idea, guys, what is the idiom and what does it mean? And I hope when I come back here, I can see comments. I'm just going to wait for you guys to catch up with me. So what is the idiom and what does it mean? What is the idiom and what does it mean? Mad as a hatter. That's the idiom. What does it mean? I'm just trying to get some feedback. What does mad as a hatter mean? If you say that someone is mad as a hatter, is that a compliment or is that a little bit insulting, maybe a bit of a negative comment? Mad as a hatter. Okay, guys, so if you can start typing in the chat, and then we can get going. If you guys can type in the chat, then I just have an idea of where you are in the stream, how much behind you are. I actually think you guys are right now a few minutes behind me. So, okay, so mad as a hatter. Anyone knows what it means? Let's take a look, guys. Mad as a hatter. And I'm also going to tell you where it comes from. So its origins date from the 17th and 18th century, long before the book was published. Have any of you read the book? All right. In the 17th century in France, poisoning occurred among hat makers who used mercury for the hat felt. The felt is the fabric. And so the Mad Hatter disease was, well, it came about, and some of the traits or some of the symptoms were shyness, irritability, and tremors that made the person appear mad. Okay, so mad as a hatter. Right. Now, let's go back into the hot seat and tell me, what would your ideal life look like? So if you could have the perfect life, an ideal life, what would your ideal life look like? Is it all about superficial things like cars and houses and lots of money and designer handbags, which is fine, absolutely fine? Or is it more about the place that you'd live, the people you're surrounded with, surrounded by? So what would your ideal life look like? So let's get chatting in the comment section. I hope you guys have caught up with me. So what would your ideal life look like? Okay, so I just refreshed it. Okay, and now I can see all the comments. All right, so this is much better. I'm going to go back and see what you guys have been saying. Okay, it's good to have you back and not to be speaking to myself. Okay, Erica, thank you. Oh, and Eduardo, you can hear me. Great, crystal clear. Thank you, Eduardo. Erica, you can hear me better. Eduardo, yes. The idiom, mad as a hatter. Marta, yeah, you can hear me. Good job. Saleha, thank you. The sound is much better. Crazy, yes, Erica, crazy. And David, completely crazy. Okay, Eduardo, now I can read your comments. So keep typing because otherwise it's a bit strange talking to myself. Yes, David, like the Hatter in Alice in Wonderland, but it came about before with the Mercury situation. Okay. Marta, yes, you can see Eduardo's comments. I can see everyone's comments. Okay, so Saliha, it sounds negative, but I'm not sure what it means. Okay, and David, that's interesting. So, mad as a hatter, sometimes, Saliha, you're so right here. Sometimes we actually say it when a person's crazy in a wonderful, interesting, fun way, okay? It's not always used in a negative context. So, if I'm saying that my best friend is as mad as a hatter, I'm actually kind of paying her a compliment. I think that she's just interesting and wonderful and crazy and spontaneous. All right. Now, let's see. It sounds negative, right? Let's go to David. Right. What does David say? I would like a life more in touch with nature, like living on a farm and conducting a life that makes you happy with simple things. All right, David, you a simple person who enjoys nature. Erica, nowadays I'm not interested in material things, but I love traveling. And David, you quoting Saleha as well. My ideal life will be in a world with no coronavirus. Okay, I agree with you guys. Yes. I'm not sure what we are going to talk about when the coronavirus has left the building, when the coronavirus is no more. We are so used to talking about it. Yeah, but I think our definition of an ideal life will change or is changing, has changed because of what we are going through with coronavirus. I think nowadays it's less important what you wear or what car you drive than are you safe. Really good answers. Guys, keep typing so that I can also check that we are on the same page and that the feed is in sync. All right. When have you been the happiest? When have you been as happy as a lark? So keep typing. When have you been the happiest? When was the last time you were really happy? For me, it's really simple. It was about 6 weeks ago when I was it 6 weeks ago? Maybe 7 weeks ago when I was in Italy on holiday for just 2 weeks, a short little trip. And I was really happy just hiking, eating good food, spending time with friends. I actually even met up with an old IL student and his family who are now studying in Poland. He's doing his doctorate, his wife is doing his master's, and his little kid is studying English and Polish and all kinds of things. All right. Here's another idiom for you guys. Don't throw the... What's that? Don't throw the, yeah, easy one. Baby out with the bath water. So it means don't get rid of valuable things along with unnecessary ones. So sometimes we are impulsive, we are reactive, and we just want to get rid of everything. Well, it's okay to throw out the water, but let's not throw the baby out. Have you guys heard that one before? Don't throw the baby out with the bath water. Okay, let's see your comments. I'm just going to go to YouTube. The comments seem to be coming through there. Okay, could someone just type in the chat so I can see, okay, what's going on here? Erica, I was as happy as a lark at my graduation. Okay, that's great. Can someone just type in the chat, even if it's just your name, so I know that the chat feature is working? Just type in your name. It doesn't matter what you type in. So Erica was as happy as a lark at her graduation. Okay. Let's move on to our next one. So if you guys can let me know whether you know that idiom, don't throw, or rather a saying, don't throw the baby out with the bath water. Right. Now, in the time of coronavirus, it's a hot potato. It's a difficult time. If someone gave you an envelope with your death date inside of it, would you actually open it? Would you basically want to know the future? Would you really want to know when you are going to, and what's the idiom, guys? We've done it before, so help me here. Would you want to know when you are going to? Hi, John, where are you from? Aha, Erica, the last idiom. Okay, I'll just type it out for you. Don't throw the baby out with the bath water. Okay, and would you want to know when you are going to? What's the idiom? You're welcome, Erica. My pleasure. Would you want to know when you are going to? What is the idiom? We've done this one before. Anyone? Would you want to know when you are? Okay, John, you are an American living in Germany, so maybe you would be able to help me out with the idiom. And are you a teacher here on italki? Or well done, John. You're going to make the lesson really interesting for me. Thank you. All right, so kick the bucket. Would you want to know when you are going to kick the bucket? Would you want to know? If you could know, would you want to know when you are going to kick the bucket? Yes or no? Just a yes or a no. You don't have to give me any explanations, guys. Yes or no? What? No, John, no. Okay, this is my first time here. I'm just trying it out. All right. Yeah, well, we just do live lessons during the lockdown while people are stuck at home because of coronavirus. All right. So, John, you prefer not to know. So, if you received an envelope with the date of your death in it, you wouldn't open it. You don't want to know. Yeah, I prefer life to be a little bit of a surprise as well. Good job. Thank you. Now, next question. What book had a really big influence on you and why? For me, The Great Gatsby. It's a beautifully written book. I recently read Secrets of the Millionaire Mind. And that was quite an eye-opener, very thought-provoking, some really good ideas. And a book that really had a big influence on me when I was younger was Lucky by Jackie Collins. It's an entire series, but the most interesting thing for me was actually Jackie Collins, the writer, who created a really dynamic and strong character, Lucky Santangelo. And she's a very different character from your normal ones. So I really, really enjoyed reading Jackie Collins, and I like the pace of her writing, the style of her writing. I write as well, so she had a huge influence on me and my writing style. All right, Erica, you don't want to know. And John, there's the film, Bucket List. I think it's two very famous actors. I'm trying to remember their names. I'm terrible with names. Was it Morgan Freeman and Anthony Hopkins? I'm just guessing here. Okay, Erica, How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. Interesting read, Erica. I've actually got it on my Kindle. I bought it on Amazon, I think, last month. I started reading it. It's a heavy read. It's not something that's a quick read. It's not something you can get through quickly. You really do have to concentrate, pay attention, absorb what you're reading and practice. Thanks, John. Yeah, Jack Nicholson and I think it was Morgan Freeman. All right. Right, now there's another idiom, go the whole 9 yards, to try your best at something. So today I thought the origins of the idioms were actually quite interesting. So during World War II, the fighter pilots were equipped with 9 yards of ammunition. A yard is almost a meter. They are approximately the same, okay? So the whole 9 yards, okay? So they were given 9 yards of ammunition, the fighter pilots. And when they ran out, it meant that they had used the whole 9 yards. They had tried their best at fighting off the target. So go the whole 9 yards. Do you generally go the whole 9 yards? All right, and did any of you actually know that idiom before? Right. Now, the next question was, if you, okay, good job. John always goes the whole 9 yards. Well, I think I do too. I try to as much as possible. All right. Now, guys, the next question is an interesting one. If you had to flee your country, all right, if you had to flee your country, where would you go? This is quite a challenging, thought-provoking question. If you had to flee your country, where would you go? I'm going to let you guys catch up and put your ideas in the chat. So if you had to flee the country you are in, and it happens to many people, it seems to be happening quite often, all right, then, some of them have choices about where they can go, some don't, all right. So John would go to Italy, to Palermo. And why particularly Palermo? I would also go to Italy, but I prefer the north of Italy. I think I have friends there. But yeah, I think the weather's good in the south. The food's good. I have been down to, I was in Napoli last October, and it's actually beautiful, Portofino. So perhaps. Okay, and Erica, John, you love Italy. Well, welcome to the club. So do I. How many times have you been to Italy? I'd love to know. Ah, then you could learn Italian. Okay, that's on my bucket list, learning Italian, but I'm really lazy. And Erica, you'd go to the Netherlands. Why would you go to the Netherlands? Ah, many times. All right. So have you been all over Italy? I was just there in February. I was there last October. I go to Italy as often as I can. And someday I may even learn Italian. Eric, and that's second conditional. If I had to flee my country, I would go to the Netherlands because so John, the Dutch are friendly and easygoing people. Yep. So Saleha would go to Saudi Arabia for pilgrimage. That's fantastic. But Saleha, if you had to flee your country permanently and find another country to live in, where would you go? And who watched the series Money Heist? Called La Casa di Papel in Italy, when all of the characters are country names and one of them is Palermo. So I've seen Money Heist on Netflix. It keeps popping up, but I haven't actually watched it. Is it good? And Erica? Because of the cycling parts. Okay. So you enjoy cycling, so you would go there. Okay, so we all want to go to some interesting countries. So Saleha, you would go to live in New York, and why would you do that? Why New York? So Erica is going because of the cycling, and I'm waiting to hear. Okay, so I'm waiting for your reason for why you would go to New York. Okay, so it's very, very good, this Money Heist. It has a 93% on Rotten Tomatoes, and that's the rating, right? The critique kind of thing. Okay, I will give it a try. I do have time. Right. Now, if you could know the absolute and total truth to one question, what question would you ask? Would it be about Roswell and have spaceships landed there? Are there aliens? Is there alien research? Or would you ask a question like, how did Marilyn, and how did I type, how did Marilyn Monroe really die? Was it an overdose? Was she poisoned? What exactly happened? Sorry, guys. So what question would you really, really want the answer to? So if you could know the absolute and total truth to just one question, what question would you ask? And let's see what you guys want to know. So in Italy, there's good food, good wine, and lots of history and friendly people. I agree with you. It's my favorite country. I absolutely love Italy. I love the food. What's your favorite food, John? I love the wine. I love the history, especially, well, there's history everywhere, but a lot of history in Rome and in Florence. And the people are incredibly friendly. They're really nice. Okay, and Saleha, you love the fast-paced life. It's a city where you could really build your life. Yep, I agree with you. Obviously, when it gets cleared of the quarantine and so on. Yeah, I agree. Is that okay? So the questions you would ask, John, you're American, right? You want to know if the Americans really landed on the moon. Well, you know, that's a conspiracy theory. Did it actually happen? Why was the flag waving? There's no wind on the moon, so why was it waving? It's actually very interesting. And yeah, very interesting. And let's see, Saliha, what happens after death? Do you really want to know what happens after death? And John's favorite food is spaghetti. Okay, I love cannolo siciliano, my favorite dessert. And I love pizzoccheri, which you probably know you get in the north in winter. So pizzoccheri and cannolo siciliano would, be the perfect meal for me. Okay. You like to have salami and French cheese. And let's see, Erica. Okay, Erica once would ask the question, how long is it going to take to get this crazy coronavirus under control? Okay, and Saliha's making spaghetti for dinner tonight. And what type of spaghetti? And Danielle Miguel, what do you think about Spanish food? I loved it. I mean, paella. Is there anything else that I can say? I love paella. And I was in Barcelona a couple years ago, and I had paella on La Rambla. There was a restaurant there. I just popped in. I think you can have it anywhere. And when I go to the Milan Fiera, then they have all of these different countries and different food. And I normally go to the Argentinian one, where I have paella and the Argentinian steak. I love food, so that's great. No, Danielle, can you explain to me what it is? Okay, and Saliha, tacos, and John, Mexican food. Yeah, I like spicy food and nachos, and yeah, I love all kinds of food. So Danielle, can you tell me what the croquetas are? That sounds interesting. All right, so can all of you tell me what is the most popular food from your country? So Danielle, I'm going to assume it's paella. So John, you used to, are you referring to what that you miss, the croquetas? Or, and if someone can explain this to me, I'd love to know what it is. I haven't eaten it, but yeah, I love paella. Someday I'd like to learn how to make it. Is it really difficult? Can someone tell me? Does someone have a recipe? Okay, and Saliha's making spaghetti with meatballs. And we're going to come back to, you miss Mexican food, John. Okay, and Saliha's telling me about what she's cooking tonight. I'm coming back to that. So a couple other questions. If Mars was livable, would you accept a one-way ticket there? I have a feeling that at this point, with the lockdown, we are all going to start packing our bags. So if Mars was livable, all right, would you accept a one-way ticket there? So you can't come back. I'm not allowing you to take family and friends and pets with you. So if Mars was livable, would you accept a one-way ticket there, and why? And another question. So I'm going to just throw two at a time so you guys can think about them and put in your answers. If you could hack into any one computer in the world, whose computer would you choose to hack into? Okay, so two questions. The first one is, if Mars was livable, would you accept a one-way ticket there? And my next question is, if you could hack into any one computer, whose computer would you choose? And I have a feeling I'm going back to food topics Let's take a look, guys. So John misses Mexican food. And Saleha sending me a recipe for paella. Saleha, why don't you just cook it and send it over? And the most popular food in your country is pap, but in your culture, it's biryani. So in South Africa, it's pap and vleis. Vleis is Afrikaans for meat. Pap and vleis is, very popular in South Africa. So Saleha has a great paella recipe. I'll give it a try. Croqueta is like small fried food rolls, like Daniel, like a spring roll. Like you get it in the tapas. I'm not sure, but I'd like to know. I'd like to learn more about it. And John, you'd like to go to Mars, but there's no Mexican food there. Maybe, John, we might not be able to open a Mexican food place, but maybe we can get a Nando's chicken. I would go to Mars if there were Nando's chicken. So it's like tapas, but it's delicious. So Daniel, when I was in Barcelona on La Rambla, I had tapas. So maybe I tried it, but didn't actually know the name of it. That's sometimes the issue when you travel alone, is that you try things, but you don't have a local person or someone to explain things to you. So you just try things, but you don't really know what it is. Okay, thank you very much. And Erica, hornado is a roast pig in Ecuadorian cuisine, generally accompanied by, I can't say that word. Okay. And vegetables. So it's like a kind of like a roast. And when do you have it for special occasions? Like Christmas or some kind, or is it just all the time? Okay. So is it made for special occasions? Like I think Saleha mentioned the biryani, and I know that's made for special occasions. And let's see, John, I'd love to break into the computers of the CIA and the FBI. Why? What would you want to know? And Daniel, croquettes are basically fantastic. Bechamel sauce. Okay, olive oil, butter, flour, and milk. I leave out the olive oil and just use tons and tons of butter, enriched with leftover scraps of Serrano ham and deep fried, to crispy perfection. Anything that's crispy and fried is right up my alley. I would, Daniel would like to break into Putin's computer. What do you expect to find there? So Erica, this meal is cooked all the time. It's available all the time. It's not just for a special occasion. All right. Interesting. Guys, so are we going to Mars and not coming back and going all alone? Who's on board with going to Mars? If Mars was livable, would you accept a one-way ticket there? All right. And do you know anyone who is living their life to the fullest? And if you think this person is living their life to the fullest, why exactly do you think that? What makes you think that this person is living their life to the fullest? Remember, sometimes appearances can be deceptive. So you may think this person is living their life to the fullest, but maybe they are not. And last question, is it really 5 minutes to the end of the lesson? Or am I seeing things? Wow, that was really quick. What's the most interesting thing you've read or seen this week? Okay, so let's finish up with those two questions. You guys have been fantastic. I really do appreciate the interaction. So let's see who wants to know what. So John, I want to know who killed Kennedy. Wasn't it Lee Harvey Oswald? who was then killed by Jack Ruby? Ah, but John wants to know who paid Lee Harvey Oswald. And Saleha, why wouldn't you go to Mars? Seems interesting. Why wouldn't you go to Mars? And let's see, John, and I want to know if 9/11 was an inside job. John, are you sure you're American? Because you have lots of doubts about what happened in your country. And Saleha's mom-in-law is living her life to the fullest. Oh, wow. She travels around the world while maintaining a working life. It's really inspiring. Yeah, that sounds like living life to the fullest. Do you think it might get lonely from time to time? Just running around the world on her own? Okay, so John, so Lee Harvey Oswald didn't actually fire the shot. So I've watched the movie and it appears that there was a second shooter, right? So you don't believe that Lee Harvey Oswald fired the shot that killed JFK. But why did Jack Ruby kill Lee Harvey Oswald? Any ideas? Okay, probably to stop him from talking. So if it wasn't Lee Harvey Oswald, even though he fired the shot, there was a second shooter. Was it in the same building or did the shot come from another direction? And sorry, guys, what was my last question? I just want to go and have, what's the most interesting thing you've heard this week? So Jack Ruby killed Lee Harvey Oswald to silence Oswald, but you don't believe that Lee Harvey Oswald fired the fatal shot. You think it came from that second shooter. Well, for me, it was the Marilyn Monroe death, because many people say that she committed suicide, but I read the book on Marilyn, and apparently she had taken a cocktail of drugs and alcohol, and she called Bobby Kennedy for help. There's apparently a recording of it, and instead of calling the ambulance, he kept her talking until she died. I don't know how much of it is true. It's a conspiracy theory, but it's actually quite interesting. And Daniel, the most interesting thing I saw was the famous video of a funeral in Nigeria while they were dancing. So that is so different from Western culture, right? And John, it was probably an inside job by the CIA. Okay, John, I'll ask them. And I think after this lesson, they're going to be knocking on my door and your door. And Erica, I heard about, I heard that the planet is getting better without us. Erica, sad, but true. The thing is, while we have been locked up, the rest of the planet has had time to heal. You know, there's a really interesting group on Facebook that has this thing called View from My Window. And when you look at it, it's people posting, you know, views from their windows in some amazing places and some ordinary places. But the thing that really stands out is that when you look out of the window, there are lots and lots of animals just roaming around. They seem to have come back into the world and taken over the world. Yes, Daniel, it's cleaning itself without us. You know, they said maybe man is the virus and coronavirus is the cure. It's forced us to all stay at home, stop using our cars, stop polluting. Factories have had to stop. The world has had a break from us, and it is growing and it's reviving, and it's actually a beautiful thing. I mean, us being in lockdown is not easy, but I think the planet is really happy that we are in lockdown. All right, guys. So I think that is a wrap for us for today. And I really do want to thank Daniel and Erica and John and Saleha and David and who else. I can't go to the top of the chat, but everyone who commented and everyone who interacted and made me really hungry with all of your food talk. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for interacting. And we have a class tomorrow. So I really would like to know what you guys would like to talk about, because if it doesn't interest you, you're not going to interact. If you're not going to interact, I'm not going to have fun. So on that note, guys, thank you so much and stay safe until tomorrow. Ciao.
Cognate is. A cognate is a word that has the same linguistic derivation that another word, and it looks similar, and pronounce it, it sounds almost the same. And here I will give you 7 cognates so you can use them in Spanish as well. The first one is alcohol in Spanish. Guess you know what it means, because it sounds pretty similar than in English, doesn't it? Number 2 is conclusión. This one has a different pronunciation in Spanish, but you will understand definitely when you start learning Spanish. Number 3, hobby. This one is completely similar. We basically took this word from English. Number 4, individual. Of course, it's the same word, just different pronunciation. The next one, number 5, is piercing. Yes, we use this word with the same pronunciation and meaning. Next one, number 6, is informal. I like to use this one in my lessons to explain ways to greet and say goodbye, because it's similar in English and is a word that the students understand very quickly. And the last are some words related to sports. If you're learning Spanish and you like sports, you're lucky, because most of the words are cognates, like football, tennis, baseball, volleyball, hockey, water polo, golf, surf, and so on. As you can see, almost all sports are cognates. So, talking about your hobbies should not be difficult. As you can see, there are many, and I would like to remember you that there are hundreds of cognates, and if you check them, you can be ready to your first Spanish lesson. Thanks for watching the video. Don't forget to subscribe to the italki YouTube channel for more tips on learning Spanish. Take a lesson with me on italki.com by clicking on my teacher profile link in the description. Hasta luego!
Hi everyone, it's Caroline here, and I teach English on italki. Today I am going to be talking about business idioms, or idioms you might hear in your office or in your workplace. A student asked me a really good question the other day. He asked me whether, because I'm a native English speaker, do I know every single idiom? And the answer is no. Idioms are phrases or expressions that come from a particular place or a particular age group. So idioms are different in the UK to idioms in the United States. I have chosen 5 business idioms to talk to you about today, and you may hear them in an office in the UK or in the States. So hopefully they will be super useful for you. Idiom number 1 is the big picture. Imagine you go into a meeting and your boss says to you, you've lost sight of the big picture. What does that mean? That means that you are thinking too much about the small details of the project, and you are so interested in those little details that you don't remember what it is you're trying to achieve. So always keep sight of the big picture. The second idiom is to go the extra mile. Now imagine you're in an interview and the interviewer says to you that they are looking for someone who always goes the extra mile. What does that mean? Does it mean they want you to run around the office every day? No, it means they want you to do more than just what is in the job description. They want you to go that little bit further and to take on extra responsibilities. That is going the extra mile. The third idiom is a win-win situation. A win-win situation means everybody gains something. A really good example of this is these videos that I'm making for italki. italki gains some content for their website, some lessons for their learners, and I have a platform where students can see me and book lessons with me. It's a win-win. italki wins and Caroline wins. The fourth idiom is word of mouth. So an example of this is think about how you found out about italki. Did you find italki by searching on Google? Or did you find italki because one of your friends recommended it to you? Recommendations from friends are word of mouth. It can be positive or it can be negative. If your company gets bad word of mouth, it is going to be a very difficult time for your company because people really listen to the opinions of their friends. So make sure whatever you do, you have good word of mouth about it. The fifth and final business idiom is to touch base. My manager used to say this to me a lot. To touch base means to have a very quick and short meeting about a project or something that you are working on. It might only be 5 minutes of your time, but in that time, you will check that your understanding of the project is the same as your manager's understanding of the project. So I have a challenge for you. In your next lesson, I want you to ask your teacher if you can touch base about what you have learned in your lessons so far. This could be 5 minutes at the end of the lesson where you review all of the different subjects that you have been studying. You're touching base about the things you have covered so far. Thank you so much for watching this video. Don't forget to subscribe to italki by clicking somewhere. And you can take a lesson with me by clicking on my teacher profile in the description box. Have a good day, everyone. Bye.
Welcome back to the Stop Being Boring When Speaking English video series. When speaking to native English speakers, it's useful to use a variety of vocabulary to make your conversations sound more interesting and flow. Why not spice up your language a little bit and impress others with your speaking abilities? In this next video, we will take a look at some American and British slang.
Number 1, American. John Hancock.
John Hancock.
So
That's a person.
it's a name of a person, yes.
And it's American slang.
What do you think it means?
I just got John Hancock. Does it mean like wasted?
Certainly not.
Give me an example.
Okay, so can I please have your John Hancock at the bottom of this paper? Come on, you gotta get it now.
Is it your signature?
Yes, you got it! That was easy.
Okay, awesome. Number 1, British. Peak. What does peak? Yeah, that's
Sorry, that's not taking a peek.
That's not slang.
This is taking a peek.
But that's just like taking a peek. That's not slang.
Oh. Like the peak of a mountain? That's not slang. That's actually
that is the peak of a mountain.
I don't know. Tell me.
Okay, let me give you an example. So say you go out one night and you lose your purse, your keys.
Is it like the most horrible situation you can be in?
Yeah, exactly. You'd be like, that's so peak. You'd be like, oh, yeah. How was your night? It was so peak.
I just got fired. That's so peak.
Exactly. So it's like the peak of badness, I guess.
Oh, I got it.
Yeah,
Okay.
so the peak.
2, American. Jacked.
Jacked. Does that mean like hench?
What does hench mean?
Like say you go to the gym.
Don't answer back with a slang word.
So the British equivalent of jacked would be hench, I think. So if someone's like really ripped.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
So hench.
go to the gym, work out a lot.
Like, whoa, look at him, he's so jacked.
We would say hench. Number 2, British. Peng. Peng.
Peng.
Peng. P-E-N-G. Peng.
Like someone being panged on the head with something, or you know, pang kind of similar. I don't know.
I guess it's a little similar. No.
Give me an example.
Okay, so for example, it's delicious. You can say, "Oh, this is peng."
Does it just mean delicious?
You could use it in other contexts as well.
Like hit the spot, you know?
Yeah, but I could also say that your eyes are peng, or a person is peng.
Just mean like extraordinarily awesome.
Basically, if you're talking about a person, you might even say painting.
Painting.
Like he's a painting.
Okay.
This is mostly
Kind
London.
of like he's like a 10.
Yeah, exactly.
So like the top of top.
Yeah, basically.
Number 3, American. I blew it.
I blew it.
I blew it.
What a nightmare. I blew it.
Yeah.
So that means that you've completely ruined the situation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Say like, I didn't make it into school. So my parents will not be proud of me. I blew it.
Yeah, well, you rocked up late to work. Don't really ever do that.
Yeah. I'm never late.
Number 3, British. Having a mare. Having a mare.
Having a mare. A nightmare. Like horrible, real nightmare. In reality, basically.
Very good. That's exactly
That was
it.
a lot easier than the previously.
Yeah, well, I thought I'd go into you. Having a mare. You were having a mare before.
I was having a mare before, not understanding anything she was saying.
Yeah, exactly. So there you have it. There's our British and American slang. Tell us what you thought of it. Did you understand it? And we'll see you next time.
My name is Vũ Nguyễn. Tên tôi là Vũ Nguyễn. It's really amazing thing for me. From italki, I can meet people around the world, and they can give me more energy to live and more inspiration to live also. Very magical. Yeah. When I can go on lesson and I feel that I'm doing a very good job, and then working at home is a very wonderful thing. I think that I can do something, and I'm doing something here. I think that I can say idea and talk with people. That is the first motivation for me to come here. The second thing that I can have some money for my life to make my life become better and more comfortable. It's very wonderful website of italki because italki is the connection between every people in the world with each other. There are many purposes for to learn a new language. Not only study language, but also sharing idea and culture and everything else in the life. And through the learning and teaching, and we can share more idea and we can share our life better. You know that because each person have their own experience and their own knowledge and their own way of living. And when we meet new people, and we think that we are discovering a new universe or a new area or something like that.
So it's wonderful that we have this diversity and we should just learn from each other. But if you at least just learn a second language and expose yourself to a second culture, not only do you understand that culture better, but you understand your own culture better. And if most people just did that and were talking openly and honestly about themselves and other people, I don't think there would be any diversity problems. Because we're all learning from each other.
He is a very good student. He studied very well, and he just learned for You know, he just only studied for 1 month, but now he can speak very much Vietnamese. Later on, yeah, the student and the teacher can in a different country, and then the relationship become very good. We drink coffee together, and we go and ride a motorbike, and I take them along somewhere beautiful together, and we talk together, and then they come back to their country, and we become teacher and student again. We study again. Yeah.
The number of refugees worldwide has reached historic levels as tens of millions of people seek asylum from conflicts in their home countries. Even for those able to reach countries willing to take them in, rebuilding their lives and careers in unfamiliar societies often proves challenging. For one group of refugees living in Istanbul, teaching online Arabic lessons to students across the world has offered a way to overcome these obstacles and establish new hope. As well.
Hello, everybody. Good afternoon. Hola, buenos dias. Welcome to today's, my live lesson. I'm Teacher Claire UK. You can call me Claire, though. We are friends now. I've met many of you many times in the previous lessons, so you can call me Claire. Today, we are going to be looking at interview skills. Something that most of us have done in our life at some stage, sometimes successfully, sometimes not so successfully. So we're going to go over a number of points and tips for you for interview skills today. I've got a little bit of vocab for you, and I've got many kind of tips and strategies for feeling not so nervous in your interviews. While I'm just waiting for people to join the lesson, what would be lovely to know who's in the lesson with me today. If you could say hello, where you're from, where you're living, perhaps, maybe that's different to where you're from, and whether you have been to any interviews recently, that would be good. So tell me who you are and where you're from, that'd be lovely. So, interview skills, part 1. So, as I said, my name is Claire. I'm a teacher on italki. I offer a number of different classes or courses, and one of those is business lessons. And I do lots of different things to do with business, but one of them is to help you apply for jobs and to ace, to be very good in your interviews. I have, in the past, I have been a recruitment consultant for many years. Does anybody know what a recruitment consultant is? Perhaps you could comment below if you know what a recruitment consultant is. A recruitment consultant. Anybody got any ideas what a recruitment consultant is? A recruitment consultant is somebody who quite simply helps somebody else find a job. So people would come to me in the company that I worked for. They would come to me and say, I would like a job in whatever industry, whatever their job title is, and I would help them write their CV, their curriculum vitae. Some people call these a resume. I would help them write their resumes. Then I would find jobs that were suitable for that person and send the employer the CV or resume and arrange an interview for them. And then hopefully they'd get the interview, go to the interview feeling very confident, because I'd give them lots of tips and strategies for being in interviews. So that's what I used to do before I became a teacher of English, which is what I do now full-time on italki. So who do we have with us today? Do we have anybody from Spain today? Anybody from Spain? Anybody from South America? No? Okay. Let's go with interview skills. By the way, at any point during the lesson, you feel free to send me any messages, any questions, anything that you would like me to answer to do with interviews. What problems have you had? What problems would you like to solve? Lovely. So we've got a couple of people here. We have JLBCN from Spain. Hello, JLBCN. We also have I'm Myra from Peru, living in Madrid. Wow, beautiful. Madrid's wonderful, isn't it? Lovely. And Peru. Been to Peru. Lovely. Cusco, Arequipa, Lima, of course. Okay, let's go to the next slide. I'd like you to answer, if you can, in the chat box below on either YouTube or on the italki page, is when was the last interview you attended? When was the last interview you attended? And while you're typing your answers, oh, I've put how position. Who can spot the mistake in the second question? Who can spot the mistake in the second question? What is the first word supposed to be? This would be a WH question. Can anybody spot that mistake? Myra, can you spot that mistake? Maita? Sabrina? Sabrina's from Brazil. Hello, Sabrina from Brazil. JLBCN. 2 years ago, you went for a job as an IT supply chain consultant position. Wow, let's pop that up on the screen if we can, studio. That'd be good. Virginia, she went to an interview 2 months ago. What was your interview for, Virginia? What position were you interviewing for? There's my mistake. What position, not how position. What position were you interviewing for? Right, you're from Lima. Great. Wonderful place. You also had an interview 2 months ago. Okay, so most people here have probably been for many interviews. I've been to quite a few interviews. I've also interviewed people for jobs in my place. So I'm going to give you some vocab and some other tips in a moment. But to start with, as the usual format for my classes are 5 top tips for interview nerves. Everybody gets nervous when they go to an interview. This is perfectly normal. It's perfectly okay. That means that you care about the job. That's what I say. If you are nervous, it means you want that job and you are probably going to do very well in your interview. The first tip, be prepared. I think this is obvious, and make sure you prepare for your interview. I will give you some more tips on that in a minute, some more detail. Basically, nobody feels great, nobody feels good when they're not prepared, okay? So prepare before you go to the interview. Number 2, this is an interesting one. When you arrive at the company, maybe you'll speak to the receptionist, and the receptionist, he or she will say, please take a seat and wait to be called. Please take a seat and wait to be called. You don't have to sit down, okay? Perhaps you can stay standing up. Hopefully you can stay standing up. It makes you feel more confident. It makes you look interested in the company. You can look around at things on the wall. You can look out the window. And then when the person that is going to interview comes into the waiting room, you are already standing up. So you won't have any accidents with your outfit getting stuck on the chair, or your bag dropping your bag and dropping your phone. And also you are on the same level as them as soon as they walk through the door. So you will automatically feel much more confident. So try to stay standing up in the waiting room. However, when you then go into the interview room itself, they will say, please take a seat. Please take a seat. And then you should sit down. Okay? So stay standing up and then sit down when they invite you to sit down in the interview room. Number three. Number three, try to use vocab that you already know already. I've said this before in my previous lessons. Don't try to learn lots of brand new vocabulary the day before your interview, okay, or even the week before your interview. Maybe some specific terms about the company and the industry. That's fine. That's related to number one. Be prepared, but don't go, trying to learn and revise lots of brand new vocabulary unless you have a lot of time, because the chances are you will. There's a good chance that you will feel more nervous trying to learn new vocabulary and trying to remember it on the day. You don't want that. Okay. Number 4, speak up, but not fast. So when your interviewer is asking you questions, make sure you're sitting up right. Make sure you're speaking confidently, and don't speak too fast. If you speak too fast, you might make mistakes, and maybe they won't understand what you're saying. So don't speak too fast. Speak at a natural speed. In my previous lesson, I said when you're giving a presentation, when you're giving a public speech, you should probably try to speak about 100 words per minute. In an interview, you can speak a little bit faster. You can speak at a natural speed, a bit like I'm speaking now. That's absolutely fine. It makes you sound quite confident if you speak at a steady pace. If you speak fast, you will sound nervous. So you don't want to sound nervous. So slow down a bit. Okay. Final one, practice, practice, practice. Again, like anything, I advise practice your interview with a friend or with a teacher. You can come to find a teacher on italki and practice the interview. What might they ask you? What are you going to say? What questions are you going to ask? Again, I'm going to give you some tips on that in a minute. Okay. So there's my 5 top tips for interview nerves. Feel free to screenshot that screen if you want to. You want to take those top tips with you. Feel free to screenshot any of my slides. Actually, you're more than welcome to take these home with you. First of all, we're going to look at some vocabulary. Okay. Take a look at these words. And if you want to, when I say these words, you can repeat them after me out loud in your home, wherever you are, in the bedroom, in the office. You can speak out loud with me for some pronunciation. Okay, so number 1, tackle. Tackle. Number 2, impression. Impression. And the last one here, research. Research. We also say research with a different stress. Research. We say research. One is a noun and one is a verb. Okay, what I would like you to do, answer in the boxes below. What words go in these gaps? What word goes in number 1? Anybody playing along here? Can anybody see this? What about you, Virginia? JLBCN says the correct answer is research. Yes, you are correct. Research the company in advance. Research the company in advance. What does it mean to research the company? You can comment in the box below if you like. Let's look at number 2. Make a good first blank. Make a good first blank. Be on time or even a little bit early, okay? A little bit early is good, just in case. Be on time, a little bit early, dress appropriately, and smile, of course. You want to make a good first blank. Does anybody know what goes in that one? Aita? Perhaps? Sabrina? What word goes in that second blank? JCLBN? I wish I knew your name. What's your name, JCLBN? Okay, so the second blank, the word impression. Okay, repeat after me. Make a good first impression. Make a good first impression. First impression is a collocation, very good collocation that you can write in your personal dictionaries if you have a personal dictionary. A good first impression. These are collocations are words that go together very frequently. Don't change meaning like an idiom or a phrasal verb. It's good to learn collocations as you're going along so that your brain becomes trained, brain training, trained on which word's going to come next. So make a good first impression. Be on time or early and dress appropriately and smile, of course. Okay. Number 3. Well, that does only leave one, doesn't it? So I'm not sure if this is going to work for this one. But another spelling mistake. What am I like? Tackle the tough questions. Please ignore that T in tough. Tackle the tough questions. Prepare ahead of time for the most common questions. So prepare ahead of time for the most common questions. Couple more words for your remit. Okay. Vocabulary, website, referee, and follow. Website, referee, and follow. Look at some sentences. Look at the company, blank, to prepare. What goes in the blank? Look at the company, blank, to prepare. Anybody know the answer to that one? Look at the company website to prepare. Look at the company website to prepare. Number 2, make sure to blank up afterwards. Make sure to blank up afterwards. Make sure to follow up afterwards. I will give you some more tips on this towards the end of the lesson. And number 3, organize 2 people to be your blank before the interview. What does this mean? Which word goes in this gap? Organize 2 people to be your referee before the interview. They will give you a reference. Okay, so now we're going to look at this. Which adjective describes a person who is always on time? Which adjective describes a person who is always on time? Is it prepared, punctual, or polite? Of course, it's punctual, isn't it? Correct adjective is punctual. Now, what do you call the person who confirms you are a good employee? We learned this on the previous slide. What do you call the person who confirms you are a good employee? Is it a reference, a referee, or a referral? You can repeat after me that if you want. Reference, a referee, or a referral? It's a referee. Okay, so we talked earlier about being prepared for your interview. Okay, what can you do? What's going to happen at the interview? You might need to think about questions that interviewers might ask. Think about those in advance, okay? You want to prepare the answers in advance. And you might want to think, also, you might want to think about any potential problems that you might encounter. Think about those in advance so that you're prepared. Okay. Be prepared. What questions might they ask you? Anybody else can think of any questions? You can put them in the chat boxes below if you like. They might ask you to tell us a bit about yourself. Tell us a bit about yourself. What are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? And always the most kind of awkward one, why did you leave your last job? Why did you leave your last job? It's a good idea to be prepared for these answers in advance. I've just had lots and lots of comments coming in on a different thread that I didn't catch before. I'm really sorry. JLBCN, thank you for all your answers, Maita and everybody else. My apologies, Virginia, as well. So let's keep going. Let's look at some of these in detail, okay? So when they ask you, what are your strengths? Why don't you tell me, what are your strengths? Maita, JCLBN. Maria, can you tell me what some of your strengths are? What does this mean? What are your strengths? What sort of things can you say to this? JLBCN, what are your strengths? What sort of things can we say if they ask you, what are your strengths? So, for example, you could say something like, I am a team player. I am a team player. I am ambitious. I am ambitious. I like to take initiative. I like to take the initiative, you can say. You could say a couple of those sorts of things. Well, basically what you want to say to the employer is that you are going to fit in to the company, phrasal verb there, that you are, the sort of person that they want on their team. Don't lie. That's what I would say here. Do not lie. They might find you out afterwards. And actually, you could lose your job if you lie. So don't lie in your interview. Let's keep talking about your strengths. Now, this one's a little bit more tricky to answer. What do you think? Can anybody come up with a good thing to say to this question? What are your weaknesses? What are your weaknesses? Maita. Yes, organised, reliable. That was for the strengths, wasn't it? Great. Team worker. Yeah, exactly. JLBCN. So now, what are your weaknesses? What are you going to say your weaknesses are? Always controversial and a tricky one to talk about. Nobody really likes to talk about their weaknesses. You're worried that the employer might think you're bad if you have weaknesses. But believe me, everybody has weaknesses. We all have weaknesses. So having a weakness is not a problem, not a problem. It's how we deal with our problems, our weaknesses. That is what they are interested in. Okay. So what would you say? What are your weaknesses, mate? Are you English? Yeah. Okay. Well, they'll probably recognise that in your interview. I wouldn't worry about your English. If you have an interview, if you are in an interview, they probably know that English is not your first language. Okay, so you don't worry too much about that. Just follow those tips that I said to you earlier, and be prepared. Don't use too difficult, too complicated words. Don't learn new words last minute and so on. But some people think that it's okay to say, I am a perfectionist. They think that's a good thing to say in an interview, but it's not. Okay, do not say I am a perfectionist. Employees hear this one all the time. People often say, I'm a perfectionist. I just want everything to be perfect. I need everything to be organized and perfect. If you say you're a perfectionist, it makes you sound like you might be difficult working as part of a team. You need to be a bit more flexible. So what I would say is something about how you fix one of your weaknesses. So do find something, maybe even related to being a perfectionist. So for example, you could talk about how when you were younger, it took, this is what I would say. Well, when I was younger, it took me a while to get organized, to learn how to be organized. But now I use a simple but effective time management system, which helps me organize all my tasks. Don't say that if you don't actually use one, because they might follow up and say, oh, what time management system do you use? What organizational tools do you use? And if you don't use one, then you'll sound a bit awkward. It will be a bit awkward. But I personally use things like all of the Google suites. I use Google Keep, Google Tasks, Google Calendar, and they all integrate with each other. And you can set up to-do lists and things to do next week and goals and events and so on. So try using those. If you haven't used them already, try using the Google Suite, call it. And then when you're in an interview, you can say, yes, I like to use the Google Suite to get organized and to keep on top of everything. Great. Now, next one. I think what's happened here. I need to just go back one way. It says, yes, okay. Final question that I've got on my slides for you. They might ask you, why did you leave your last job? Why did you leave your last job, everybody? Ruben, new person. Hello, Ruben. Why did you leave your last job? Virginia, Aita, why did you leave your last job? You don't have to tell the exact truth here, okay? You might want to be a little bit creative with the truth. We say creative with the truth. Don't talk badly about your previous employer. Don't say how terrible it was working in your last job. They don't want to hear that. They don't want to hear you talking badly about your previous employer, because then you might talk badly about the company that you've gone for the interview with. So JLBCN has come up with a good idea. Can we pop that on the screen, studio? JLBCN said that he wanted to work on international projects, and the previous company, his last company, was a national company. That is a really good reason for leaving a company and a very good answer to this question in an interview. Great. So some other things that you could say, you could say, I'm looking for new challenges. I'm looking for new challenges. I'm looking for a job that suits my qualifications. I'm looking for a job that suits my qualifications. You could say, I'm looking for a job where I can grow with the company. I'm looking for a job where I can grow with the company. I'm looking for new challenges. I think I said that already. What do you notice about all of those examples that I gave? What do you notice? So I'm not talking about my previous company. I'm not talking badly about them, especially. I'm generally saying things that are talking about myself, about how I can improve myself, how I can fit within a new company. To be positive and talk about personal growth and helping the new company that you want to work for. Maita is now looking for new challenges because she had to close her own business because it's too expensive to keep it. Yeah, running your own business is very, very difficult, isn't it? Very difficult. Now you're looking for new challenges. Great. So when you go to your next interview, you can say, I'm looking for new challenges. Excellent. Now, Ruben has never left a job. He's never left a job before. He's worked in the same company. Hello, Ruben, who's worked in the same company. But I guess I would leave my job if the company would not trust me. Okay, that's interesting. Yeah. Okay. Now, be prepared. Prepare for the worst. Okay. Try to have a think about what could possibly go wrong. What sort of things could go wrong? Any ideas? What are you going to prepare for? What could go wrong? Either before the interview, during the interview, or after the interview. What could go wrong? What sort of things can go wrong? And what solutions can you think of? Okay, well, many things could go wrong before the interview, couldn't they? You might get the wrong address to the company. Okay, you're going to be prepared, so you're going to make sure that you do have the right address, but you never know. You might hear Queen's Avenue when it's actually Queen's Road. So be careful of those sorts of things. Make sure you check you've got the correct address and you've looked it up on Google Maps and you know the route and you've checked out the bus routes or the, public transport or however you're going to get there. Make sure you check all that out before you go to an interview. You don't want to be late, basically, do you? You don't want to be late. It might start raining on the way to the interview. You don't want to go to an interview soaking wet from the rain. So make sure you take an umbrella. Make sure you take a jacket, a rain jacket. Be prepared for these things. You never know. What other sorts of things could possibly go wrong? Or when you arrive at the interview and you're waiting for the interviewer to arrive, if you wear lipstick to an interview, this is I don't know. Not everybody wears lipstick, okay? But if you do wear lipstick, just quickly check it before you go into the interview. You don't want to go in with lipstick all over your teeth or smudged on your face or on your shirt collar or something. So have a quick look. Take a little mirror with you and just check. Anybody can take a mirror with them to check what they look like, whether you wear lipstick or not. Check. My hair look okay? Does it look okay? I haven't got McDonald's ketchup down my shirt before you go in. Check all those things. Think of what could possibly go wrong and prepare for them. Think of some solutions. Okay, well, I've already said this one, to stand up while you wait. For those of you that weren't here earlier, Let me just read this to you so you can follow me, you can shadow me. JCBN, if you arrive late, then you should say a great excuse. Oh, that's a good idea. What would a great excuse be, JLBCN? If you're late, what would be a good excuse? I can't think of a really good excuse. If you do think of one, pop it in the comments below. Okay, so I'm going to read this longer piece of text and you're going to shadow me. Okay, you're going to shadow me. I'm going to model and you are going to speak out loud in your house. Stand up while you wait. Stand up while you wait. You will often be shown into a boardroom or another room before an interview and offered a seat while you wait. Don't take it. You don't want their first impression of you to be struggling up out of a chair, okay? You drop your bag or you drop your phone and you're like, stay standing. You'll look more confident and you'll feel more confident if you are on their level as you first meet them. Okay, just briefly, one of my frequent tips, use vocabulary you know. Do not use this word, splendiferous. It is a word. It is a high-level word that not even people who speak English as a first language use this word. We don't use this word splendiferous, but it is a word. It is in the dictionary. So don't use words you don't know how to use, okay? Make sure you use words that you do know. Okay, here's a few extra pieces of vocabulary, extra vocabulary for you. You might want to write these down. You can screenshot or take a photo of the screen if you want to, if you want a copy of this vocabulary. Follow up. Follow up. Handshake. Handshake. Impression. Job lead. Job opening. Networking. Pitfalls. Prospective employer. Prospective employer. Qualification. Referee. Reference. Be a good fit. You want to be a good fit for their team. Be a team player. Handle pressure. Handle pressure. Tackle. Weakness. Research or research, depending on whether you're using the noun or the verb. And strength. What strengths do you have? You can take a quick picture of those if you want to. Okay. On the vocab front, like I said when I had splendiferous up on the screen, never use a complicated word when a simple one will do. So if you know a simple word for something, don't look it up in a dictionary and try to find a synonym. Do not try to find a synonym for a simple word. This is a good piece of advice on so many levels, okay? Partly you might use it incorrectly, partly the person who is interviewing you may not have English as a first language either, and you don't want to confuse the people that are interviewing you. Okay. Now, towards the end of the interview, you are going to have the opportunity to ask questions to the employer. I've got a couple here for you. It'd be great if you can think of some more questions for the interviewer, for your interviewer. They will say to you, now, over to you. Do you have any questions for us? They will say, over to you. Do you have any questions for us? And here's a couple of questions that you can ask You could ask them, what do you enjoy about your job? What do you enjoy about your job? You can copy me saying these again if you like. I will model them and then you can repeat. What do you enjoy about your job? You could ask them, how could I impress you when I start? How could I impress you when I start? What does that mean? How could I impress you when I start? Anybody want to have a little guess? Okay, next one. What are the next steps in the interview process? What are the next steps in the interview process? Some interview processes are very short, just one interview. You've either got the job or you haven't. Other interview processes are much longer. You might need to go for an initial interview, a screening, they sometimes call this. They might invite you to come for a screening, and you might be interviewed by a panel of people, more than one person. Or you might just be interviewed by one person. But if you ask what are the next steps in the interview process, you will be more prepared for the next step. Okay, you can ask them a little bit more detail about what the next steps of the interview process are. They might say, the next step in the interview process is that we invite you to come along and demonstrate your work. So, for example, if you're going for a job as a chef in a restaurant, if you like to cook, if you cook food in a restaurant, they might ask you to come along for a trial. We would like to invite you to come for a trial, and then you would obviously go in the kitchen and show them what you can do, show them your magic. They might invite you for a trial. They might invite you for a group interview or a session where lots of people are interviewed together and have to do exercises together to see what you're like working in a team. You might have to do a medical. You might have to have your body health checked. You might be asked, and you might be required to do a knowledge test. So if you do something very technical that you can't demonstrate by showing them practically, like as a chef, you might have to answer a questionnaire. You'll know all these sorts of things anyway. If you're a very technical person, you will know these things. But it'd be a good idea to ask them in advance what the next steps in the interview process are. Okay. You could also ask, what are the day-to-day responsibilities? What are the day-to-day responsibilities? This will give you a good idea of what the job entails, what you'll be doing when you start working for them, if you start working for them. It also shows the employer that you're interested in planning and preparing for when you come to work for them. So you could say, what are the day-to-day responsibilities? Final question I've got for you here on the questions for your interviewer. What are the main company values? What are the main company values? Again, you want to show that you're interested in the company. You want to make them think that you are a good fit for their company values. Obviously, it's also useful for you to know what the company values are. You might decide that you don't actually want to work for them, depending on what their company values are. You might leave the interview thinking, I'm not really sure the company values fit my values. You might want to turn down, reject any job offers that you might get. Now, questions not to ask. Can anybody else think of questions not to ask? Here's a couple for you, okay? Do not ask, how much is the pay? How much money am I going to get? How much money are you going to pay me? Really, earlier in the interview, they should have asked you something like, what salary are you expecting? Or they might even tell you, this is the salary for this job. This is the salary for this job. What salary are you expecting? But do not ask that at the end. You should really have done your research already. You should really know how much money they are going to pay for this job. Do not ask, what does your company do? Why? Why would I not ask this? Let's see if anyone wants to comment in the boxes below. JLBCN, anybody Maita? Why would you not ask, what does your company do? Sounds like quite an obvious thing not to say, doesn't it? But some people do, okay? They haven't done their research. They haven't looked into the companies on their website. They haven't done any research on the company, and they don't know what the company does. So do not do that. Do not ask, what does your company do? Also, do not say in the interview, did I get the job? They will tell you if you got the job. If they wanted to give you the job there and then, while you're in the interview, they will tell you, congratulations, we'd like to tell you straight away that you've got the job. But to be honest, this generally doesn't happen. 95% of jobs are not given to the person in the interview. They will normally say something like, thank you very much for attending the interview with us today. We will let you know by the end of the week, or we will send you an email by the end of the month, or we will let all prospective employees, everybody that's been for an interview, we will let them know by the end of the month. And again, what is the salary for this position? Don't ask. That's the same as how much is the pay. You get the drift. Do not ask about money. Okay. So I said this before, speak up, but not fast. Here's some more speaking tips for you for when you're for when you're preparing for an interview. Okay, because obviously an interview is going to mostly be you speaking. The sound is a bit distorted, as somebody has said. Yeah, Eduardo. Hello, Eduardo. I wonder why the sound is distorted. It's a bit strange. You're the first person to have told me. I wonder what that's about. I've got a brand new microphone. Shall I sit forward? Is that better, Eduardo? Does the sound better now? Cutting off the top of my head. Don't know. Okay. So preparing for the interview in advance. Listen to things, research things that are related to the topic or related to the industry that you're going for an interview for. Okay. Try to speak whenever you can to people about the job that you're going for. Practice with somebody. Listen to TED Talks, listen to podcasts, listen to YouTube videos, listen to italki videos, of course, and try to sort of get your ear familiar with the terminology, the words that you will need to use in an interview for your industry. Okay? So listening is a very good tip. Listen a couple of times as well. So when you listen to a TED Talk or a podcast, you can listen more than once. This is what I advise my students. So the first time, you can just listen to it all the way through. The second time, you might want to write down any words that you didn't understand. But don't stop and look them up in a dictionary. Don't do that straight away. You can look up all the words in a dictionary at the end of your second listening. Then you can add them to your personal dictionary and form example sentences and write definitions, collocations, and prepositions, and so on. And then when you listen the third and the fourth time, you'll know what those words are. So you will understand the whole video. This is really, or podcast, of course. This is really good tips for preparing to go to an interview. Try to find experts from your industry that have made videos, on YouTube or TED Talks and so on. And finally, to read out loud, read silently, and read every day leading up to your interview. Read magazines. What else, actually? Tell me. Let's see what other ideas people have. What sort of things can you read leading up to your interview? What sort of things can you read to prepare you for the interview? Well, of course, you can read their website. Read the website for the company and read it out loud. Familiarize your mouth with the sounds of the words from the industry that you are applying for the job in. Read out loud at least 15 minutes a day if you can. If you've got lots of people in your house and you're a bit embarrassed to read in front of your family, I don't know, your friends, you can open a window and read out the window. Nobody can hear you then, possibly, or from the balcony or in the garden. But try to read out loud because then your mouth becomes trained in the words that you need to know. And it knows how to say the words much quicker. Yeah, somebody else is saying that the sound is distorted again. Sandra, I'm really sorry. Eduardo, it said it was the same in the previous class and the teacher had to reboot. What does the studio say? Let me just drop the studio a line and a message and ask them what to do. Have a think about where else you can, what other things you can read out loud while I'm dropping a message to the studio. Okay, a little message. Okay. Not sure what to do then if the sound is really bad. I will continue. I've only got a few more minutes left. Okay. And I've only got a couple more slides left. Anyway, my final piece of advice: practice, practice, practice. Ask a friend if you can do role play with them. Your friend can pretend to be the employer, and your friend can ask you questions that you might get in an interview. So your friend asks you the question, and then you practice your answers. Okay, so your friend will ask, "So, tell us a little bit about yourself." And then you will say, "Oh, well, I'm ambitious, I'm hardworking. Don't talk about your family or your hobbies. It's not relevant here. Talk about what you can bring to the company." So do this role play with somebody, a friend, or even a teacher on italki. There's many teachers, myself included. I do interview practice, CV writing. I can help you find a job, help you improve your salaries if you like. Come to me and I'll give you some more specific advice. But there are also lots of teachers on italki who you can do this with. Okay, you can practice your interview skills with. Not sure what's happening about the sound. I'm really sorry. hope it's okay. Hope it's okay enough. Okay, well, final few slides, okay? Oh yeah, done that one. Practice, practice, practice. So here's the final few things to wrap up your interview. You've gone through the whole stage, you've arrived at the interview, you've stood up rather than sitting down, they've asked you lots of questions, you've then asked them a couple of questions, and then you're going to say thanks. Thank you very much for taking the time to interview me. If you can hear me, if the sound is okay, please could you repeat that? Thank you for taking the time to interview me. Thank you for taking the time to interview me. If there's anything else you need to know, please do not hesitate to contact me. If there's anything else you need, if there's anything else you need to know, please do not hesitate to contact me. And I've said here, always have a couple of questions ready. We've already done that anyway, actually. Finally, I would say make sure you follow up. To follow up. That was one of the words that we had in the vocab section earlier in my lesson today. To follow up. What does this mean? What type of word is to follow up? What type of word is to follow up? Anybody know? Is it an adjective? To follow up, is it an adjective? Is it a noun? Yes, it is a phrasal verb. Phrasal verb, to follow up. That means you're going to contact the company after your interview, once again thanking them for taking the time to interview you. You can email them. I would email the day after, or maybe the day after that, to thank them for interviewing, for taking the time to interview you. Or if you got the interview through an agency, make sure you contact the agency, okay? One of the things that us agency workers have always experienced is people going for interviews and then not telling us how the interview went. It's really important for an agency worker, a recruitment consultant, that was my previous job. It's really important for recruitment consultants to know how your interview went. So please make sure you phone your agency straight away and tell them how the interview went. Was it what you expected? Is there anything they need to know for other people that are going to go for an interview there? Did they treat you well? Was the job as expected? Was the interview as expected? Your agency does need to know this. And also, when you're a recruitment consultant like I was, when you work in an agency, you have hundreds, if not thousands, of clients like yourselves looking for jobs all day long. We get phone calls and emails and so on from new people and whatnot. So it's quite difficult as an agency worker to remember who is who and who went for what interview. So it's a really good idea to phone or to email, if nothing else, your agency worker and tell them how your interview went. Tell them if you're really excited about the job. We like this information, okay? Recruitment consultants like this information. Tell us, yes, I really want to work for that company. Wow, it was amazing. Oh gosh, it was awful. I really didn't like it. I don't want to go back there. Okay, and we need your feedback. So make sure you call your agency worker and tell them how the interview went, and then they will tell the employer your thoughts, basically. Okay, So I'm coming towards the end of the lesson now. Do we have any final questions about the lesson? Any vocabulary that you need to go over again? Any questions you have about interview skills, interview tips? If you do, feel free to comment below. And I keep hearing that the sound is very bad quality and distorted. My apologies. Apologies about the sound. I'm not sure what that is, to be honest with you. I will look into it though. Okay, I will look into it and see if there's anything that we can do for the future lessons. Oh, Virginia, thanks, Claire, you're a great teacher. That's really nice of you, Virginia. Thank you. It's always really difficult to know as a teacher whether the people watching you like what you're saying, whether they like your lesson or not, because there's not really that much instant feedback like when we're doing our italki classes or when we're in a classroom. So it's really lovely to have that positive feedback. Thank you, Virginia. Okay, so my apologies about the sound in today's my lesson and also previous lessons I hear. If you'd like to take a lesson with me or you'd like to tune into any more italki live lessons, you can do so. italki.com. I stay at home, and hopefully we will see you in one of the future lessons, and that you're all staying safe in the times of coronavirus. Okay, thanks for coming, and I'll hopefully see you again. Over and out.